Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Oakland Athletics in the second game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Since the All-Star break, has been nothing but good stuff for the New York Yankees. They won 7 in a row. Yesterday, the first game of this four-game set, they won 6-3, but they were down 3-0, and that's when Mark Teixeira took over.
That's right. Vin Mazzara, a young pitcher from New Jersey, actually was really dominant. First 9 outs, 6 of them were strikeouts. This is a 3-0 fastball, the fourth inning, deposited in the terrace, 24 home runs. He's leading the American League in home runs. You talk about hot. He has been hot later in the game, scoring Derek Jeter, 3 RBIs, 2 for 4 on the night. Mark Teixeira is on all cylinders.
And look at this. Since the All-Star break, hitting .333, 3 homers, 7 ribbies. Look at the slugging percentage. And Al told you about the 24 home runs. Good for a tie for first place in the American League. Now, the Yankees catch a break as if they need one of late, having won 7 in a row. They'll play an Oakland team without arguably their best player, Matt Holliday, because the Oakland A's traded Matt Holliday today to the St. Louis Cardinals, Paul.
Well, the Oakland A's are doing what organizations do when they're completely out of the race. Matt Holliday was brought in here because offensively he's a strong player. You see 286, kind of mediocre year for him, but he has an opportunity to go to the St. Louis Cardinals, be in a pennant race. The Oakland A's have an opportunity to acquire some young players to build a better team. That's what this trade's all about.
And the best player of those three, Brett Wallace, the third baseman. Let's take a look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Brett Anderson, 5-7 for the A's, 4.25. Jabba Chamberlain will get the start for the Yankees, 5-2 with a 4.05 ERA. Now, Jabba Chamberlain, we were reminded yesterday, is on that innings limit. How far can he go? How far can the Yankees go with him? We turn our lonely eyes and ears to Al Leiter to find out next.
10 seconds. All right, guys, stand by.
It's Fantasy 411 with Corey Schwartz and Corey Gottlieb on home plate, XM 175 and Sirius 210.
Yep, everything you heard is correct. I'm Corey Schwartz. This is Corey Gottlieb right next to me. You're listening to the MLB.com Fantasy 411 on MLB Home Plate. We want you to get in touch with the show, okay? Here's what you do. Call 866-MLB on XM. That's 866-652-6696. We have some callers in the queue, and we will get to you guys shortly, so stand by. You can email the show, fantasy411 at SiriusXM.com. We will get to at least 8 emails in this show. That is my personal guarantee to you. You can check out the blog, the exclusive home of Pitcher Dish. That's at fantasy411.mlblogs.com. As if that's not enough, there's Twitter. Not one, but two, but 3 different Twitters. You got Fantasy 411, which Mike Ciano is filling up the Twitter sphere. You got Fantasy MLB, which is Corey Gottlieb and Kyle Stack and team getting the news and notes. And you've got Short Stops, which is me occasionally posting something that catches my interest about someone on one of my fantasy teams. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Jennifer Langos, who covers the Pirates for MLB.com, will be calling in at 7:30 to talk trades and good stuff. But first, we're going to get to your phone calls as we promised, and everybody's been very patient. We appreciate it. So let's start out with Brad in California. How's it going, Brad?
How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Great. I've got a 10-team league. It's a keeper league.
Well, the weather is much better tonight than it was last night, and it's gorgeous, really. There's going to be a big crowd on hand here at the stadium for Game 2 of the four-game set between the Yankees and the A's. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Yankees baseball right here on Yes. That's Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. Jabba Chamberlain gets start for the Yankees tonight. And yesterday it was kind of revealed that Jabba does still have an innings limit on his pitches this year. So to the best of our guesstimate, it's anywhere from 140 to 160. So let's settle in the middle and say 150. He's at 95 2/3 right now, Al. So that would say that he can't make every start the rest of the way if he pitches in a 5-man rotation.
Assuming they stay with this, Michael, it's going to be obviously a big issue. What looks like, you say 6 innings, 7 starts, he's going to be pushing on that 150 mark.
Right.
Probably the first week in September. I think it will be an issue as to whether what Joe Girardi, what the Yankees decide, where they are in the standings as to whether they pull the reins back. I don't know, reliever, starter, the whole bit. I think it's a fine line between abusing somebody and then also being too careful. It'll be interesting to watch.
And it's going to be very interesting to see if they cut him off before the innings limit so that they could use him in the bullpen. All things they have to consider. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes.
Production is not mutually exclusive, and that's not to say that teams can't have bad games.
speaking of that last caller, I have 5 Rays playing on my team, and it's hard to take any of them out. I'll tell you, they've been so good this year. But anyway.
How many All-Stars did they put out there? I mean, if they're the right 5 guys, so be it.
Right. I got Zobrist, Crawford, Ryan. Let me think. Bartlett and Price. So Price has been kind of back and forth, but anyway. Real quick, I guess the thing I'd like to hear you guys focus on a lot is, what do you think about Soriano in the second half? Because we have a retention league, and I've had Soriano for years, and it's been a no-brainer. He's just been incredible for years. Even when he's been hurt, he's come back and really just got on fire for weeks or even months at a time. Boy, I just don't see the same Soriano this year, and I'm halfway thinking of dumping him, not dumping him, but maybe seeing if I can get believe it or not, I'm talking to a guy about getting Longoria, which would be 6 Braves then on my team.
Well, I'll sum up my thoughts on Soriano for you in 2 words. Woof, woof.
Volkswagen dealers. Visit tristatebw.com for great deals on new Volkswagens. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Honda, the 2009 Honda clearance is here, but it ends soon. Hurry into your Honda dealer today. Well, the Yankees looking to make it 8 in a row in the second half of the season. A lot of people are coming to bear witness to that. It'll be the Yankees against the A's in the second game of this 4-game set. As you can see, the Yankees have taken the field. Java Chamberlain is taking his warm-up, so why don't we take a look at the Oakland Athletics starting lineup. Adam Kennedy at third base leads off. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop, will bat second. The number 3 hitter, left fielder, Scott Hairston. Jack Cuss, the DH, will clean up. Batting 5th and catching, Kurt Suzuki. Good numbers lifetime against the Yankees. Ryan Sweeney's in right field, batting 6th. Batting 7th, playing first base, Derek Barton. Mark Ellis at second base will hit 8th. And just called up, Eric Patterson will play center field. He'll bat 9th.
And Java Chamberlain will be making his 19th start of the year. I feel he's coming off one of his best starts of the year against Detroit. Respectable ERA, 4.05, 95 innings, a few more hits than innings. Let's take a look at the pitcher scatter report. Keep it rolling. The Yankees starters lead the American League in ERA in the second half with a 2.51. Aggressive early. Java has allowed only 1 earned run in the first inning in his last 9 starts. And limit pitches, well, that's pretty obvious. Keep his pitch count down. He'll be able to get deeper into the game. He's got 11 no decisions this year.
Let's check out the weather. The game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. It's beautiful, but the numbers say 78 degrees, 64% humidity, wind at 10 miles per hour, and there's a chance of isolated showers. They weren't isolated yesterday. They seemed like they started in the afternoon and stayed all night. They played through the raindrops for 9 innings, and the Yankees came away with a 6-3 victory.
I'll have you know, Michael, I was looking at the screen back there, and as much as you enjoy your weather forecast, I want you to add on that the UV index is low right now.
Now, where'd you get this?
It was on the screen back there.
Really?
Yeah. It happens a lot at night, by the way.
Interesting. You've come ready to play.
It was true. I mean, the UV index was low. It's important.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound and UV. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. So it's been a great second half for the Yankees so far. Last year they came out of the second half, or out of the All-Star break, winning 8 in a row. And now they've won 7 in a row. And no team in Major League history has ever had successive seasons of 7 or more wins in a row after the All-Star break. First team ever. So Yankees making some history with this little stretch and last year's stretch as well. Adam Kennedy will dig in. He's ready. Java Chamberlain is ready. We're ready. And let's do it. Here in the Bronx is the big right-hander, winds, kicks, and deals. Pitches low, and we are underway. Kennedy, 5 hits in his last 15 at bats. The A's are 40 and 54. And the 1-0. Outside, 2-0.
About you, Al. Every once in a while, you just look at a player, and all of a sudden, you're like, it just doesn't look right. And Kennedy, to me, when I look back, was always in the the Angels uniform, and now all of a sudden, he's in that Oakland uniform with the white cleats and the green helmet. didn't seem right.
I got a chance to talk to Adam yesterday, and he's a baseball player, grinder. Just, I hate to put the old school tab on him, but you know, he played the game right. You mentioned the Angels, but what he's done, talking to other people around the Oakland clubhouse, is that he's brought on like kind of that running, aggressive, fundamental baseball, play the game right, and it really has transcended. This team's running more. Last night I think they had 2 or 3 bags. They were moving runners, and a lot of it is attributed to him.
That one's foul back.
Well, let's take a look. Gamer. Just what I said. This guy is really an old teammate of mine, Joe McEwen, who I loved. Really kind of was his mentor. Angel Way, World Series champion, was ALCS MVP. Likes right-handed pitchers. 326, 8th best in the American League this year. Good scrappy player.
And the 2-2 is grounded to second. Right there is Cano, and there's one away. Why don't we take a look at the entire Yankee defensive schematic? In the outfield, you've got Damon, Cabrera, and Swisher. That's left to right. In the infield, well, it's the infield that you know. A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. Jeter just 4 errors this year, 3rd fewest among Major League shortstops. Posada behind the plate, and Java Chamberlain is on the mound.
Well, you can attribute that the Yankee defense with the addition of Mark Teixeira, Gold Glove guy, 2 Gold Gloves between Cano and Jeter.
Orlando Cabrera laces one into right center field. On the run is Swisher. He can't get there, and it'll roll to the scoreboard. Melky plays it back in, and on second with a 1-out double is Orlando Cabrera.
Well, Swisher gets a good jump on the ball, but he looked like he took a straight-on angle, just straight across, and at the end you see he's just not going to get there. Melky backs up well. Obviously, when it gets by the right fielder, it's a sure double. He got to dive later, but he didn't get to dive to make the catch.
Cabrera hitting .380 in July, so he has been one of the hottest athletics, and that's going to bring up Scott Hairston. And Java steps off. Yankee pitching has been behind the 7-game winning streak. And they call it passing the baton, and Al can speak to this better than I can, obviously, even Paul. It seems like starters feed off the other starters. If everybody's doing well, you don't want to be the guy to break the chain.
It's definitely contagious. There's no doubt about it. First of all, it's a fraternity within itself. You sit on the bench and you talk to your fellow starter who's not out there. There's no question about it, Michael. You don't want to be the guy.
Runner goes. High throw, and A-Rod picked it out of the air. Java didn't even pay attention to Cabrera, and he had a running start. He was halfway to third base before the pitch was even delivered.
Well, Cabrera, that's his 9th stolen base. Watch Job. It doesn't even take a look at him. There's not a whole lot of movement from Cano. Sometimes pitchers, obviously you can't do that. Now he's got a third base sacrifice fly with score a run. You got to keep the runner close.
Foul back. Now, Paul, Al said that the pitchers hang together. Did you ever have a pitcher that was a friend?
Oh yeah, Eddie Pettit was one of the my best friends on the team. But I was going to say they are a little fraternity. They're a little weird. There's no doubt about it. I mean, where the everyday players are in their thing and in their mode, and you can't tell what they're talking about now when they're not pitching. But obviously, they're your best friend the night that they're on the hill.
Andy talked with Sergio Mitre and last night's starter and winner, CC.
You know, I noticed last night I was watching the game. I came in, other than you weren't on the air. That's what I really noticed, Mike.
High fly ball, right field. This should get the run in. Cabrera tags. The catch is made by Swisher. Here's the throw. Not in time. All the way on the fly. But Cabrera scored easily. A sac fly by Hairston. It's 1-0 A's.
Well, it goes back to that stolen base, and it's almost stealing a run. And you're right. You see Nick Swisher, he stays behind the ball, but he delivers a little high. If you saw the arc on that ball, that's why he didn't have a chance to throw him out there. But again, the ball's deep enough that that comes down to just basic baseball, holding the runner tight at second base. You steal a base, you get an easy run.
And here's the arc that Paul's talking about. A little bit of a lollipop in there, and on a short hop, Posada made the catch.
I don't think it would have mattered anyway, but that's a little nuance within a game. for a starter where, you know, if you go deeper into the game, you either get a no decision or a loss. You can pin stuff on that. Not keeping runners close and throw it over, fielding your position.
All right, so what did you think when you were watching the game, O'Neal?
Other than you had another vacation
Right.
day, I was watching CeCe when he was throwing, and I was looking at his sideburns. How do you cut those things? They're like little pencils. Did you notice them? You weren't watching the game like me, but
Well, you obviously had a good HD TV you were
Oh, but
watching.
look, I mean, if you look in there, they're just little. Come on, CeCe, work with me here. Now turn a little bit. Little tiny little sideburn, not like the old-fashioned mutton chops.
Fouled away. There, they're just a line down the side of his face.
Did you say how does he? He does.
Oh, he doesn't.
No,
Somebody hooks him up.
They have that barber.
An in-house barber? You don't remember that? There we go. See. Now he's working. You see that little line?
There wasn't a barber when you were here?
No. Not anybody let me cut my hair, by the way.
You got some thick locks, though. You need a weed whacker to get through that.
You can make a lot of mistakes on my hair, and nobody can tell.
There's the...
Look at that.
Not quite a sideburn, but it serves its purpose. Claims the face. Here's the 2-2. Foul back.
That's what Paul got out of the game last
That's
night.
right. Other than it was the third inning and like midnight.
Larry Vanover behind the plate. Sam Holbrook at first. Dan Iasonia at second. Charlie Relaford at third. Al Leiter and Ken Singleton doing research, coming up with stats, and Paul pulls the sideburn out.
Look at Charlie. Charlie finally put glasses on out there. He didn't used to have glasses years ago.
You told him enough he needed them.
I didn't want to bring that part up.
The 2-2. Strike three. Cusp. Down looking. Now it's going to be a fun night, as you can hear. The first inning, 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. The A's won. And the New York Yankees coming to bat.
Trades and all that kind of stuff. At the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, Braves and Brewers on XM 175, so stick around for that. You want to call the show, 866-MLB on XM. You can email us, fantasy411 at SiriusXM.com. SiriusXM.com, that's what it said. And the blog is fantasy411.mlblogs.com. And there's Twitter and text messaging and stalking and all that good stuff. But when we get people to call in, that's what we like, and we don't want to keep them waiting. So let's jump back on to Paul and Augusta. How's it going, Paul?
Going fine. I'm in I guess it's a 4x4 league, and I'm trying to figure out who's going to produce better stats in the second half. Ty Wigginton, Garrett Anderson, or Scott Hairston. I heard the talk about the Oakland offense, so it had me a little concerned.
How many teams in your league, Paul?
There's 14, but what we do is we don't use the full National League and American League. It's kind of half of each, so it's a mixture of half American, half national.
All right. It's an interesting question, Paul, because
And he saw the A's score a top of the first inning run. And Michael Imperioli of The Sopranos also at the game here on a Friday night. The stars are out before the sun sets. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that will face the left-hander Brett Anderson. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter leads off. Batting second and playing left field, Johnny Damon carries a 6-game hitting streak into this game. Mark Teixeira, big night last night. He'll be at first. Alex Rodriguez cleans up and plays third. Jorge Posada will catch. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing, Hideki Matsui. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing right field, Nick Swisher. And Melky Cabrera in center field. He's going to bat ninth.
And the young left-hander Brett Anderson, 21 years old. Love his stuff. 5-7. The 4.25 ERA is a little deceiving because he has been much better of late. Let's take a look at the G Pitcher Scouting Report. Future ace. We're going to see some 97s, an outstanding slider. He's got 3+ pitches, 21 club. He's on a roll. Last 21 innings, has not given up a run. Left out the last 16 left-handed batters, only 1 single. His last 3 starts have been dominating.
Pitch to Jeter is dribbled slowly, third baseline, and kicks foul. Malaui's had 21 straight innings without allowing a run, so that's pretty good. 5-7, 4.25. What the A's are going through right now are growing pains, because 64 starts with this start has been made by a rookie pitcher. Rookies have started 36 of their last 46 games, and This game's hard enough with veteran pitchers. You throw rookies out there, start after start after start, they're gonna take their lumps.
Right, and I think that for Billy being in the A's, Michael, they went out and tried to address, because their offense was not the A's of old, so they tried to address that. Bringing in Matt Holliday, who was just traded yesterday, along with Giambi and Nomar. They bring in Orlando Cabrera. It just hasn't been. They're in the bottom in offense. And you're right, when you have a young staff and you're not getting offense, lean an awful lot on the young pitcher.
Such a different ballpark now. Since they redid that ballpark, it's an offensive park. I mean, in the old days, you know, you could win a 3-2 game. And now, I mean, that's a hitter's paradise. The gaps are short. You can reach all parts of. So in that division, obviously, if you throw some offense, you can stay in it. But you're going to have to score runs at home to win. No doubt about it.
Jeter swings and misses down on strikes.
Yeah, now you talked about it, and this is a guy who leads all of baseball or all American League against left-handed hitters. Derek Jeter, left-handed pitchers. I mean, you see this is just a nasty breaking ball after he showed him a 95-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Almost seems unfair, but it always goes that the guys with the great fastballs also have the great curveballs and the great sliders, and it all comes from arm speed.
There's a strike to Johnny Damon.
In his last start against the Angels, he took a perfect game into the 7th inning, 2 outs in the 7th. 2 starts before that against Boston. His first shutout, career shutout, 2-hitter.
You talk about perfect games. What a neat story last night with the defensive replacement in Chicago. Burley throwing a perfect game, 27. What was it, 18 or 19, Michael, of all time?
Well, it's according to you, it's 16 in modern day baseball. It's 18 overall. So they're saying it's the 18th perfect game. Swing and a miss, and Damon down on strikes. And the defensive replacement Paul is talking about is Dwayne Wise. They put him in for defense. And sometimes you know this, that first let's take a look at the A's defense. We've got Hairston in left and Patterson in center, Sweeney over right. In the infield, Kennedy, Cabrera, Ellis, and Barton. That's third to first. Suzuki behind the plate. Anderson on the mound. Cabrera's been shaky at short, 14 errors this year. You were in 3 perfect games. Managers don't like to change the defense because it changes the karma.
Absolutely. You don't want to do anything out of the ordinary, but, you know, defensive replacements are part of the game, especially in close games now. But, you know, to go into the 9th inning as a defensive replacement in a perfect game, you've got to be nervous because all you can do is do something wrong. When you do catch the ball, obviously you're in there to catch the ball, and you're supposed to, but God forbid you go in there making errors.
Well, with everything that was on the line, I think you both agree that's got to be one of the greatest catches ever.
Yeah, that was neat. It was really neat.
I think if we were making a movie and we scripted a perfect game, we'd say, okay, the 9th inning, we're going to have a guy steal a home run and bobble it and almost drop it. We'd probably say, you know, that's far-fetched. We can't pull that off.
And here it is. This is the play by Dwayne Wise, just inserted in. Gabe Kapler hit the ball, and there's the bobble, there's the grab, and there's the triumphant hold it over the head. Amazing.
Now you got to feel that the pitcher, you know, we'll get back to it, but it's almost bound to happen after a play like that.
That's an impressive first inning for Brett Anderson, the young left-hander. He gets to Scherer looking. He strikes out the side. Yankees go down in order, 1-0 A's.
or get traded somewhere and be a reserve bench player there. And Kelly Johnson might not be an everyday player right now, but I think he's a better hitter than Prado long term. Frankly, I think he's a better player than Casey Kochman. You could see Johnson taking at bats at second while Prado plays first.
Right.
So I think Uribe or Tracy would just give you two good choices. Cut one of those guys loose. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back on the bottom of the hour at 7:30, Jennifer Langos from Pirates.com. But first, let's hit the update desk here at the Fantasy 411.
All right, nice job, guys. I'll go ahead and give Jennifer a call here in about a minute.
Pitch.
Vin Mazzaro 3-0. I believe, Michael, that it really unsettled this young pitcher, local kid, grew up 14 miles from here in Rutherford, New Jersey. Mark Teixeira got all of that second deck. Lead the American League in home runs.
That is our G moment. 1-0, A's lead. We go to the top of the second inning. Kurt Suzuki will step in, and Suzuki really hurts the Yankees. He's 8 for 14 against them this year. Overall, a 284 hitter, and you know he's an offensive catcher because when you look at his defensive numbers, you can almost run against him at will, especially of late as Java goes up and in, and we'll detail those a little bit later if the Yankees get base runners on.
You know, I'm only going to refer, Michael, to Ray Fosse, the great catcher for the A's. He loves this guy. I know he's thrown out 23%. And he couldn't say enough about athleticism.
High fly ball, right center. And Melky puts it away. Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 AC channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios, this is big. Gio Gonzalez will go for the A's, 1-2 with a loaded 9.33. Andy Pettit, 8-5, 4.62. We'll start our coverage at noon with the BP show. Pre-game show at 12:30. First pitch right around 1:07. 29 of the last 31 attempted base stealers against Suzuki have been successful. So I guess the 20% was a little bit earlier in the year. He was thrown out a lot early. Yeah.
He's got to get a little help from those pitchers.
Ryan Sweeney lines one into left center field. That dunks in for a base hit. Sounded like a broken bat, but he'll trade that for a single. 1 on, 1 out. Hey, stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Now, Al mentioned earlier, the A's run now, and it almost seems like they're moving away from Moneyball. Because Moneyball, you never stole bases because you didn't want to give out an out away on the base paths. You never sacrificed bunted because you didn't want to give outs away. The 27 outs are sacrosanct. But they've changed a little bit because the players they have changed a little bit. There's a strike to Derek Barton.
Well, they were almost in the mode there of trying to load up the bases to get the big inning, the 3-run homers, and they had some power hitters, and now you've got young hitters that are learning how to hit, and also a lot of young players don't like to take a lot of pitches, don't like to hit with 2 strikes, don't want to be behind in the count and give away a strike. So that's kind of the things how you talk about working with young pitchers, and you see Bob Guerin, he's got to work with young hitters too.
They've had 33 stolen bases last 32 games. I always found it odd that Billy Beane allowed Michael Lewis to follow him around and pretty much give away state secrets in the book Moneyball, because what Billy Beane had found was undervalued players, guys that had high on-base percentages, and nobody else had put that kind of value on those guys. Now all of a sudden there was a book about it that became a bestseller, and then everybody knew, and the undervalued players weren't cheap anymore. So the guys with the on-base percentage ended up making more money and kind of took away an advantage that the A's had. They were going to make a movie about it, and Brad Pitt was going to play Billy Beane, but the Hollywood executives kind of pulled the plug because Steven Soderbergh, who's one of the big-time directors in Hollywood, really wanted to make it a baseball nuts and bolts movie, and Hollywood didn't think that would sell.
Internationally.
Yes.
Really, much of the revenue that they're concerned about movie making is around the world, and obviously baseball is not as popular.
Paul, they made a movie about you. You think Brad Pitt would play it?
Let's get back to me on that one. I'm trying to Kramer, he got my hairstyle, right? I tell you one thing though, in the what was it, 61 or the Bronx Zoo, where the guy that was portraying me was walking around in the in the wife beater all the time? You know, the muscle T-shirt or whatever in the locker room?
I don't remember that.
I do. I saw it. I'm like, you know, be kidding me. I don't even own one of those things. Why am I strutting around the locker room?
61 or
You couldn't have
was
been
it
at 61. You couldn't have been in the Bronx Zoo. It was about 78 Yankees.
All right, now don't make me look like a fool on TV here. Now, work with me here. What movie was it? Was it it was a Joe Torre story. There we go.
Well, that narrows it down. 2-2 is strike three as Barton's down looking. I'm thinking now, 61, he wasn't even born.
I was one of the extras. I was one of the extras up in the bleachers.
Paint fastball away, locking up Barton. After a little slider before that, perfect location right on the corner. I'll tell you, job of his last start, Michael. I didn't see the game against the Red Sox where he had to strike out high, but just had a different presence, different look, kind of the reliever look about him. Attacking the hitters, his velocity was pushing in the upper 90s, a handful of 96, 97s.
Here's Mark Ellis. And the pitch inside.
You know, it's funny how trends go through baseball, and now, you know, you brought Job up as a marquee starter, and then he did so well in the pen, and now you've seen what Phil Hughes has done out of the pen. If that's almost like the hot trend to bring up some of these young studs out of the minor leagues where, you know, they can go in for an inning, use their best stuff, instead of, you know, exposing them to that third and fourth pitch that they need to be a starter.
Well, and I think, Paul, that part of the problem when you're a reliever, the mindset is one inning, give it all you got, whatever that is, 10, 12, 14 pitches, and now you become a starter. You can utilize 3 pitches at least, unless you're total domination 2, which he had the fastball slider, and you worry about conserving your energy so that you can get 6, 7 innings of start. So you can make the 100, 110, 115 pitches if they push you once in a while. And that mindset of like, do I go max effort? How do I do it? I don't want to empty the tank. I'll be tired and done in 4 innings. How do I modify that? And that's all the process of learning how to pitch. And using all your pitches, realizing that it's not a max effort situation to get every single major league hitter out.
Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. In time. And that'll do it for the A's in the second inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Oakland.
Year after, they can all kind of come up together, and maybe this team can get back rolling in the right direction. So they'll take anybody. They'll take anybody young and anybody they can have control over for 5, 6 years and beyond.
Jennifer, I don't want to force you to speculate, but let's say for argument's sake, Sanchez and Wilson do get traded out. Who are teams that you think might?
Dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. We go back to 1983, the Pine Tar game. George Brett's 9th inning home run is disallowed when umpires rule to use too much pine tar on his bat. You know, the umpire that made that decision is still umpiring, Tim McClellan.
Tim McClellan. One of the best, too.
Alex Rodriguez swings and misses.
You like him?
Just took too long to call a strike.
But I thought striking ball, he was very consistent.
Yeah, he was good.
Count 1-1. I was just texted from Ashley Fugazi of the Yes Network that the guy who played you in the Joe Toy Store was a guy actor named Andrew Jackson. Heavily muscled young man.
They told him what to walk around with. I don't know.
Line drive, right at Ellis. One away. Now, speaking of that Pine Tar game, 26 years ago today, Goose throws and Brett delivers. And he hits it into the short porch and right. A big home run in that game. Billy Martin, tipped off by Greg Nettle, said, listen, there's too much Pine Tar.
This is what you see. I mean, you cannot act that. I mean, that is just true emotion. Just that's what I love about sports and you know, the now part of it, because you can't act that. It just, I mean, how often are you going to come up and you know, hit a home run off Goose Gossage and then they're going to try to take it away from you? Come on.
Now, the American League overruled the umpiring crew, said that was not the spirit and the intent of the rule, and they gave him the home run. Then the Yankees ended up playing that game later on in the season, the end of the game, and Billy Martin thought it was a farce, and I think he had Ron Guidry play center field in that game in the last inning or so. So he was angry about it. He said, hey, a rule is a rule, and he was right. And the American League was also right. That was not the intent of the rule. And I also think that Don Mattingly played second base in that game. You were on the field when Don Mattingly played. Were you there when Don Mattingly played third? Or that was before he got to the Yankees?
Yeah.
That was Billy Madden, and he decided to put Don Mattingly at third base in Seattle, lefty thrower, and he played a great game at third. There's a strike, 2-2.
Were you covering the team then? You remember that?
Yes, I believe I was covering. I don't want to say, what year was that?
83?
No, that was not. No, that was not. That was not covering.
Never see that. Left-handed third baseman? Other than Little League?
Well, there was a guy in spring training for the White Sox, and I don't remember his name, that he played the whole spring training, was going to play third base, and it ended up, I don't think it happened, but they did make a trial run. Obviously, for fans, you know, they're thinking what we're talking about. It's too hard to turn a double play to second base for a left-hander, so it's a big disadvantage to put him at third base.
2-2. Swung on a miss. 4 strikeouts for Brett Anderson. He's having the type of start that last night's A's starter had. He had 6 strikeouts in the first 10 batters.
And you know what I like about what he's doing right now for Brett Anderson? He's using all of his pitches. He's throwing a changeup, two-seamer, this nasty slider, breaking down and in. Both now to Jeter. Same strikeout, locked up to Teixeira. Where Vin Mazzara last night, watching him, he dominated for the first 3 innings. And then as he got in trouble, that 3-0 fastball that Teixeira took him deep on, he started then introducing his third pitch. And it becomes an emergency pitch. And as a pitcher, you think, oh, well, I'm struggling. Now I got to bring my third pitch out. As opposed to here early on with Brett Anderson, he's using his fastball, slider, change.
1-0 to Matsui is fouled back.
It was almost the thing. I was watching the game, and it was almost like he realized where he was at the point and woke up and like, all right, am I supposed to be doing this? And that comes with being accustomed to having games like that. And all of a sudden, you know, you don't get strike one, you get behind, you get a 3-0 home run, and all of a sudden it's a different game, and you forget, you know, how dominating you were and what you were doing to get to that point.
You know, and I always thought of you as a guy that never gave away at bats, which I don't believe you did. Maybe you would admit to. You know what I'm talking about. Where you just mentally, where you're just not in.
Try.
And that's where your premier pitchers, they every pitch matters. And to your point, you know, maybe Vin Mazzara kind of lost, and you do. You know, you kind of just not zone out, but you're just not in that laser focus of, you know, Hideki Matsui, I got to make a pitch here, and that's it. You're in that moment, not giving away any pitch.
2-2. Turns over on that pitch and grounds it to Barton. He'll step on the bag, and Brett Anderson did perfect through 2 as the Yankees 6 up and 6 down. So they go down in order in the second, and we go to the third. It's 1-0 A's. Watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Mark Ellis was up when Ryan Sweeney got gunned down at second by Posada, so he gets a fresh count. The pitch is outside, 1-0.
A lot of new names with the Oakland Athletics, but Mark Ellis, one of the guys that, if you've seen them play over the past 4, 5, 6 years, he's one of the guys you're accustomed to seeing.
Promising career has been derailed because of a lot of injuries. Modell scoreboard 1-0. The A's lead. Modell is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
How do you explain this, Paul? Against left-handed pitchers, 162. This year, 241 against righties. Wouldn't you think it would be the opposite?
I mean, usually it is. There's no doubt about it. Every once in a while, you just get in a funk as a hitter, and then you start believing it. Sometimes lefties can look too good to you, and as a right-handed hitter, you overswing, and you get yourself out more so than the pitcher. Just looking up at the board, he's born in Rapid City, North Dakota. I mean, how long is that season? That baseball season's got to be about a week and a half in North Dakota, right?
Swing and a miss. Ellis down on strikes.
I think he's from Florida. I know he, along with David Eckstein, were the middle of the infield for the University of Florida. Drafted by Kansas City, was traded with Johnny Damon to Oakland for Roberto Hernandez.
Here's Eric Patterson. And there's a strike. Patterson was called up today from AAA Sacramento. Second stint with the A's. He was with them from April 29th through May 3rd. 1 for 8 during that time. Good numbers with Sacramento, though. 326. About a 400 on-base percentage. 9 home runs, 39 ribbies in 90 games.
Corey Patterson, his brother, longtime major leaguer, came up with the Cubs, spent some time with the Orioles, bounced around a little now.
Right in on the hands and popped up. Cano. And they already gave away Matt Holliday's number. So Patterson gets the number 5. Holliday had it last night. And Holliday's actually in the lineup tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's batting behind Albert Pujols. And if you didn't hear the news, they traded Matt Holliday to the Cardinals for 3 minor league players. And that one was popped up off the bat of Adam Kennedy. Alex Rodriguez makes the play, and Java Chamberlain has a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning here in the third as the A's go down in order. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 Oakland. To text poll. Tonight's question is, which of these recent acquisitions will have the greatest impact on his new team? You can text us at 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Number 1, Jeff Francoeur with the Mets. Number 2, Eric Hinsky with the Yankees. Number 3, Adam LaRoche with the Red Sox. And number 4, Matt Holliday with the Cardinals.
I know Matt Holliday was not what he was with Colorado, but maybe perhaps him going back to the National League, he was as good as anybody for 2 or 3 years.
That's the Canoas upstairs on the Modell's scoreboard. It's 1-0 A's. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Well, the acquisition of Holliday by Billy Beane, the GM of the A's, is one of his rare miscalculations. And the economic downturn in this country played a large role in the miscalculation. I believe that Holliday makes about $14.5 million this year. And Billy Beane thought that he needed offense. And if he didn't have a good enough team, well, he'd be able to trade him or just keep him, offer him arbitration, and get the 2 number 1 draft picks. But the way the offense or the way the economy has turned, he realized that if he didn't trade him, there's no way he could offer him arbitration because he'd probably take it and make $16, $17 million. Slow roll with the second. That's a base hit for Cano.
Well, again, I mean, organizations do have to take chances. You have to, somewhat show up to win. You see Robbie Cano kind of just topping this ball, and every once in a while, you basically get lucky as a hitter, and he just put it exactly where he's had to try to make a barehanded play.
IOTV HD Super Shot.
That open-handed kind of Scotty Brocious did it as good as anybody I've ever seen. It's a do-or-die play. There's only one way to throw him out, and that's come up with that ball cleanly barehanded to throw him out.
Well, the Yankees finally get a base runner.
Got to be mumbling that on the mound to yourself there. Are you lucky? Come on, hit the ball like a man or something like that.
Early on I used to, but after a while, realizing that there was a lot of line rocket outs. I can remember old Paul Neal hitting a few.
Yeah. They didn't hit grass very often off of you because the numbers weren't real good.
There you go.
The 1-0. Count 2-0. Swisher, and a little bit of a slide right now. 4 for his last 27. Hitting .235 overall. On-base percentage at .365. 14 homers and 50 runs batted in. Switcher to batting from the right side. And the count 3-0. And this is where you wonder, yesterday with Mazzaro, the 3-0 home run, did that unnerve him? Did that little slow roller by Cano make him think, and get him out of his zone, as Al likes to say? Because here he goes at 3-0 on Nick Swisher.
One thing it will do, Al, and as a pitching staff, if a guy gives up a 3-0 home run, all of a sudden you're out there the next night, these guys will swing 3-0. So you just don't lay it in there. You still try to make a pitch. So it does wake up the other side, knowing that some of the hitters will be hitting 3-0.
And the pitch. Foul back.
How often did you swing 3-0, Paul?
I didn't do it a lot. I just didn't. My whole philosophy of hitting was not to try to do too much. And in 3-0 count, you were almost looked down upon if you tried to hit the ball the other way. It was a home run or nothing. And I often popped up that pitch when I tried to do too much with it. And at the 3-0 count, I always felt like I was going to get just as good as pitch 3-1.
Did you ignore 3-0 green lights then?
No, I didn't. I mean, a green light 3-0 just gives you the opportunity if you feel like it. And there were times, with men in scoring position, obviously I'd still
score the game.
Runs. Absolutely.
It's a blowout.
(3-2). Sky high pop-up. Garrett Barton makes the catch. 1 out. Hey, this week marks the Yankees' first ever Hope Week. a unique week-long community initiative to help others persevere and excel. Each day this week, Yankee players are reaching out to inspirational individuals, families, and organizations. Daily celebrations are culminating at Yankee Stadium, and outreach is often taking place away from the ballpark. For more information on Hope Week, please visit Yankees.com. Get involved. Give hope. I cannot tell you how impressive what the Yankees have done this week as an organization and as a team happens to be. And I'm sure you've read about it in the newspapers, and we've detailed it with Kim on our pre- and post-game shows. But the players have gone above and beyond. Yesterday, the nighttime camp that they had, a little circus in the outfield after a very late finish, and A.J. Burnett stayed the whole night with the kids that are actually allergic to sunlight. Camp Sundown, it's called, and the players seem like they did it without complaint. They got up early. They did things away from the ballpark. And you might say, well, what's the big deal? Well, sometimes it is a big deal. And to get everybody to sign up and do it, I think the organization and Jason Zillow did so much of this. Director of Media Relations deserves a lot of credit and congratulations. Just a nice thing they did. Line drive, base hit, down the left field line off the bat of Cabrera. Hairston cuts it off. Moving to third is Cano. He'll get there. And Melky's at second with a double.
See, Malcolm Cabrera gets a breaking ball down in. Not a bad pitch. This ball probably ends up out of the zone. But he gets the barrel out, and as a hitter, you see he kind of freezes to see if he hooked it foul or not. He kept it fair. Good base running on Robbie Cano's part. It's a good jump. And hesitates to see, and all of a sudden you make up your mind. See, he doesn't even pick up the third base coach. I mean, that's your decision on your own. It allows Melky to jog into second base behind him.
Well, the A's play the infield back, except at third. Adam Kennedy right on the lip of the grass. A ground ball anywhere else will tie the game. Here's Jeter, who struck out in the first inning. And a strike on the outside corner. In his last 4 starts, Anderson has held opponents to 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Even an 0-4 right here will get a run in if it's placed in the right area. Count 1-1.
Wow, you know, as a pitcher, you have to be almost like Houdini to get out of this inning without giving up a run. You got the infield back, you got a contact hitter up. But Anderson's been on a roll with these scoreless streak.
Early on in the count, especially before you get to 2 strike, you make a good point, Paul. You're thinking about getting it out, even if you have to give up a run. But you get 2 strikes, you're thinking strikeout.
Derek Jeter, coming into this game, he did strike out in the first inning. .442 batting average against left-handed pitching. He has owned lefty pitchers this year. And that's the highest batting average in the majors against left-handed pitching. 2-2. Last player to finish the season with that high an average against lefties with a minimum of 100 plate appearances was Ryan Braun of the Brewers. He hit .450 in 07. The last American League player was Brett Boone of the Mariners. He had .444 in 2001. Jeter's highest average against lefty pitching in his career, 2000, he hit .395. Yeah, it's got a piece to stay alive.
And I attribute that, Michael, Paul, you could attest to this, that Derek Jeter's patented swing has been right center most of his career, and most left-handers will live away. They'll come in, stand up a right-hander, maybe a power breaking ball, the pitch that he struck out on his first pitch. But normally, generally speaking, a lefty will be 2-seamer away or something away, right into Derek's swing.
Second and third with 1 out. 1-0 A's. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Second game of a 4-game set. Yankees riding a 7-game winning streak. 2-2. Stays alive.
See Derek not taking real comfortable swings. You know, the 2-1 pitch he tried to do a little bit too much with, kind of overswung it. But the last couple breaking balls look like he's in the contact mode. Anderson not giving him much to hit.
2-2. Line drive, base hit to right field. Cano scores. Melky is held up. The throw is cut off by Barton. An RBI single for Jeter, and the Yankees have tied the game at 1. And that's exactly what Al just said. Take the pitch the other way. That's why he hits lefties so well.
Well, this was his 3rd consecutive breaking ball, but this one didn't get down and in. Out over the plate. Derek Jeter, you said it now, that's his bread and butter. And when that ball's up, gives you an easy opportunity to shoot it to right, which he did right there.
For as good as he pulls his hands in, that up and in, he's able to get the barrel of the bat and then basically push the ball to right field. There's only one spot. Sometimes the ball down and in smothers it. Just good hitting. Great approach.
So now 1st and 3rd. Let's see if Jeter goes with Suzuki behind the plate. Shattered back, soft ground ball at first. They're going to go for 2. There's 1, and nobody is covering. Melky scores, and the Yankees lead 2-1. I think the throw hit Johnny Damon. He was the only one at first base.
That's it.
It looked like the umpire got in the way. Ellis couldn't get there. Johnny Damon, we've talked about it, breaks more bats than anybody in baseball. Cabrera's going to turn it. He's going to turn it with Mick Keller right there. There's nobody. And he is lucky that it hit Johnny, or it probably would have ended up in the stands.
Yeah, this is a little unusual. Maybe Cabrera just thinking that netting over near the camera well, maybe it'll just ricochet back. Anderson's busted, but it ends up being a foot race against a guy who can run and somebody can't.
Pitch to Mark Teixeira's outside, 1-0. And Johnny got hit right where you keep the wallet. And it hurt. So he picks up an RBI, his 58th of the year. And the runs the Yankees have scored, they snapped the scoreless streak that Anderson had, that he had built to 23 innings in a row. Also, we mentioned Mick Keller, the Yankee first base coach. We must mention that today is his birthday. He's 62. So happy birthday to Mick. Been a nice addition to the Yankee staff, well respected by the players, veteran baseball man.
Great VP. Used to take Mick out on the backfields in spring training. He'd throw to you all day. Never complained. Nice 4-seam straight fastball. That's all you want to see in batting practice. Got to make yourself feel a little bit better.
Grounded sharply up the middle, knocked down by Cabrera, tries to flip it with the glove, and flips it past Ellis. Everybody's safe.
I don't know if Orlando Cabrera thought he didn't have enough time from this perspective. Maybe we'll take a look here. I think he had enough time to get it set. You see, it was just kind of an emergency kind of shovel pass. Would have been a heck of a play, but you see where Johnny Damon was. I think had he been able to somewhat get his knees or feet underneath him, he may have had a shot. Ruled a hit. Good effort.
Talk about Anderson losing that, the innings pitched scoreless. Don't you think it's much harder for a starter to put together that kind of thing than a reliever? A reliever can come in even with bad stuff and get through an inning once in a while. Well, starters got to go back-to-back games, to get that many innings in.
Well, in his case, he had 9 innings, 4 innings, 2 starts ago in Tampa. He had a stiff back. They pulled him. And then his last start, 8 innings. You're right. Because you're flipping a lineup 3 times.
Right.
To your point, Your reliever come in, you get an inning, see 3 batters, move on.
Teixeira's given a base hit on that one. And the count 1-0 on A-Rod. He lined out to Ellis in the second. Tries to come inside, does Anderson. And the count 2-0.
This is the approach that makes the Yankee lineup, and when you played Paul, it gave all the pitchers in the league fits. It's the 25th pitch coming up, overworking in the sense of having to grind it out. And even if their outs are made, they're not easy outs. Taking pitches, identifying release point. So even if you get through the inning and maybe give up no runs or a run, it feels so much more effort.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, made a trip out to the mound to talk to Anderson. And a 2-1. 2-2.
I agree 100%. Now, if you look at a pitcher and you say he's going to throw 100, 110 pitches, so he throws that one by Alex. And if you can divide it 10, 12, 15 pitches every inning, at the end of the day, as a pitcher, you're really not spent. But all of a sudden you have a 9-pitch inning, then you have a 30-pitch inning, or a 25, up and down, up and down. Those are hard workload innings.
Strike 3. Alex down looking. Nice pitch. Busting him inside with the fastball. But the Yankees finally get on the base, and they finally get on the board. 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 left. We play 3, 2-1 Yanks. Manager for the Yankees during the Pine Tar game. Who's the manager for the Royals? We'll find that out in the bottom of the inning. Stadium looks great here on a Friday night. Yankees have the highest average attendance per game of any team in Major League Baseball. It seems like they're averaging about 46 to 47 every game. And Java Chamberlain has himself a lead as we move to the 4th. The Yankees have 4 hits, all in that 3rd inning, and the A's 2. Orlando Cabrera digs in. Fastball strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball for Chamberlain. That was his 41st pitch of the night. Breaking ball, grounded to short. Jeter across the diamond. And if there's nothing wrong with Cabrera's legs, he's certainly just jogging down to first base, which is hard to understand.
He's had some issue with his knee, Michael.
Oh, I guess that explains it.
Might also explain that play that he had at shortstop too, where he kind of slid into that knee and might not be able to get up and get rid of that ball. But he's been so hot with the bat that, you know, he's got to try to stay in the lineup as a hitter. When you're hot swinging the bat, you'll do anything to get your plate appearances in.
Well, he's one of the commodities that if a team is in need of a shortstop, the teams that are in it, I think Minnesota's looking at Seattle if they think they're still in it. Possible trade.
And the 1-0. High fly ball, center field. Melky's there. 2 outs.
Michael, you're up on this stuff much more than I am. And Roy Halladay obviously is the big commodity out there right now. And where's he going to end up? And that's probably going to change, you know, a division in baseball, whether it be the National League or the American League.
Well, it seems like the teams that are fighting for him that are the most prevalent in all the rumors would be the Phillies and the Dodgers. Milwaukee seems to have an outside chance as well. They're sniffing around. I was told by Peter Gammons of ESPN, he said that the Yankees and the Red Sox were told, you're going to have to offer us a 30% better deal than any team in the National League if you want to make a trade for this guy because they're within the division.
And in the old days, it didn't matter what you offered. You would not trade a guy in your division that is going to beat you, you know, late years to come. And Toronto still thinks that, you know, they have a pretty good team here in the next few years.
Which makes it a little strange that they trade the best pitcher in baseball. The 1-1. Cowboy. That's how you look, Paul, when you got food in front of you.
I was just going to ask you, are you a cotton candy fan?
Not really.
Not me.
Not
me
really.
either. My kids are crazy about that. You get cotton candy ice cream. I mean, are you kidding me? Whatever happened to this, like vanilla or mint chip or something? Cotton candy ice cream kind of ruins it, doesn't it?
The 1-1. Al, are you a cotton candy fan?
No, I agree. Give me a mint chocolate chip. Too sweet, but that's what kids like.
Yeah, I
They like
wonder.
the
I
sugar
mean,
sweet.
do we grow out of it, or are there actually adults that like cotton candy?
My wife
That
does.
should be the next.
Your wife does? Yeah.
Oh, she likes any kind of candy.
Do a text poll on it. You'll find out.
Count 3-2. Last season, Cuss led the American League with 111 walks. He's working count full right here. He's a kind of an all or nothing at all guy. He swings as hard as he can swing. He strikes out a lot, walks a lot, and gets his share of home runs. 16 so far this year. Foul back.
You say that, Mike, when you see with that cut, I mean, a 3-2 cut, when you're pitching now and you see a guy with 2 strikes just swinging from the heels, you got to believe if you make a pitch, you're going to get it, right? There's no cutting down.
But he's got a good eye too.
Yeah.
So that's what makes this really, he's an enigma, I think, because for someone who swings as hard as he does, as you're saying, Paul, you would think he'd have a careless strike zone recognition. He doesn't.
See if he hits his fastball away.
Strike 3. Java 7 in a row as he rings up his 4th strikeout of the night. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Yanks. Billy Martin was the manager for the Yankees during the Pine Tar game. Well, tell me who was the manager for the Royals. Do you know this one, Al?
Yes, I do.
Tell me before they show
Dick
it.
Hauser.
I think you saw it.
No.
Former Yankee manager, the late Dick Hauser. Brett Anderson has a 2-1 deficit as he deals to Jorge Posada. You look at Anderson when he's sitting on the bench and when he's about to come out on the field and when he's about to throw the first pitch. He's got almost like a Zen-like approach. He does like neck twists just to relax himself. Doesn't seem very flustered out there at all. There's a strike.
Which is excellent, Michael. If that's the case, that's where you ultimately try to get to, where you don't get flustered.
I can't believe you're saying that. I mean, you were like a hummingbird out there. You always look.
Was it him or was it the wings off his Red Bull?
You didn't have Zen back then.
You know what? Contrary to what it looked like, I was very Zen-like.
Really?
Yes.
I'd like to see tapes. The 1-2.
It's funny though. You talk about Anderson. You can see why the Oakland Athletics are high on him. And if you took a break from baseball for a couple of years and you came back and this might be like a marquee matchup in a couple of years.
Yep.
I mean, you got the #1 Anderson against the #1 Chamberlain. I mean, these are two of the pitchers that could end up being staff aces here in the next few years.
Well, Brett Anderson was the main minor leaguer in the Danny Herron trade. He came up through the D-backs. Another guy, Carlos Gonzalez, who was traded for Matt Holliday, was a young outfielder who's now with the Rockies. But those two guys were the main components in that Dan Herron trade.
Swing and a miss. Weak hack there by Posada. One away.
Once in a while, as a hitter, you kind of get in between the fastball and the curveball, and you throw one of those hacks, and you kind of march off the field and try to get in the dugout before anybody recognizes what kind of swing you just took.
And that's a nasty slider right there. You have great major league hitters in these Yankee lineup, and they're emergency hack, 2 strikes, realizing you can either put the ball in play or make contact to get some half swings.
Breaking ball strike to Matsui. Hi, Papa. Adam Kennedy. 2-away. Now check this out. Between innings, just before he's about to go on the field, watch Anderson enjoy water like you've never seen water enjoyed. Watch this. Okay.
He's tricking us. It's a deke.
Now. Now, I've been in some bars where you drink like that, Al, but where you have that look, but
it's like $1,000 sip of wine right there or something, wasn't it?
Pitch outside, 1-0. Had you ever seen that?
No. We got to ask tomorrow. Hopefully, Paul, get down there and ask.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Hi, Brett. I'm Paul O'Neill. What are you doing with that water? Now, you could ask Bob Garrett. He used to be your catcher in the minor leagues, right, Al?
Yes. Bob Garrett coming up with the Yanks. Out of it, Albany, Colony Yankees, Double-A, and then Columbus. Good guy.
Driven Adams in left center field. Scott Harrison's there, and he'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. 4 in the books here in the Bronx, and the Yankees are leading the A's 2-1. You're watching Yes. And then, of course, on the WB Mason postgame show, along with Kimberly Jones. Let's the scoreboard. It's 2-1. Yankees over the A's. We're going to be following Mr. Anderson and his water consumption. 7 in a row for Jabba Chamberlain as we go to the 5th. He's thrown 51 pitches. And Suzuki fouls it back. Bob Guerin, who is the manager of the A's, Al mentioned that he was a teammate in the minor leagues. Bob actually made it to the big leagues with the Yankees and was a catcher during the Stunt Merrill years in the early 90s. And those were rough Yankee years, believe me. Wins were tough to come by. And you see Bob right there with a home run in the Kingdom. Big, tall catcher. Pretty good catch and throw guy. But there was a stretch there with a ground ball to Cano that Gene Monahan, the trainer, the players got him to agree that if they were able to win 5 games in a row, that he would shave his head.
Gino.
Right. So they won 5 games in a row. Somehow they won 5 games in a row, and they shaved Gino's head. And Bob was sitting on the plane. I remember the team was, I think it was going to the West Coast, and Bob said, boy, you'd have to pay me an awful lot of money to get me to shave my head. And the players got together $5 grand, and they all took turns shaving his head on the plane. And when we got to Seattle, his head was all cut up and scratched and everything, but he was bald for a while. The 1-0. 2-0. Gino didn't get any money for it. Bob Guerin got 5 G's.
Gino's always been a team player, though. See what he did for a 5-game streak? People play a little bit harder when they know they get to shave Gino's head. Huh?
I guess so. And a walk issued to Ryan Sweeney.
Guerin tells a great story. Billy Bart was the manager halfway through '88 and then was fired, and Lou came in. And Guerin was catching, Tim Stoddard pitching. And over the scout report, Billy said, throw whoever the hitter was, throw him, breaking balls. And Guerin called the fastball. Guy gets a hit. So Guerin, the next inning, is up, and he gives him a take sign, the entire bat.
The entire bat.
0-2 count. Looks down. Take. He was mad at him. And Bob tells me, said, you're in the doghouse. You look down, it's 0-2, and they're giving you the take sign.
You got to step out and see, maybe you're seeing something wrong. If you get it again, he's like, oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, Billy came out, just aired him out. As Billy was a manager that, he believed, the breaking stuff. Anybody can hit a fastball. Get to the big leagues, can't hit the breaking ball. So no matter what, the catcher started catching on. I realized, I remember Don Slaught, who was the catcher there during the time, and just when in doubt, it was a breaking ball, Billy. Because they didn't have the technology now with a lot, radar guns and scoreboards.
Well, Dave Island saw something there with Chamberlain throwing 5 pitches out of the zone in a row, so he comes out quickly. And that was the thing they were raving about with Chamberlain in his last start, that he was able to repeat his delivery. Now, explain what that means, Al. I mean, we hear it, and as laymen, we're not. Well, what does that mean? He's able to repeat his delivery.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see Mariano tonight, and we'll actually see it live, or how it. That's what you try to do as a pitcher. Timing mechanism within your delivery to do the same thing every time. Whether it's a fastball, slider, changeup, your release point, your leg kick, the timing of when you break your hands, how you come out, where you land. That's the point of it. Because if you're not consistent with your delivery and your timing of it, you're going to be off. And it's ever so slight. If your hand is a little off to where your normal release point is, say on a quality pitch to a pitch that you're rounded or not finishing, you're not going to have the command. And that's what every pitcher tries to get to. Maybe you can relate as a hitter. You want the same swing. Assume you have the same.
Yeah, you try to put yourself in the same position in the hitting, but you have to make adjustments because the ball's moving. But yeah, as far as your approach, where you put yourself in the position where the ball gets in the hitting area has to. The more consistent you are, the better. But then the adjustment starts for a hitter.
The 2-1.
It's because you pitchers are always trying to do something stupid.
But when you were locked in, and you were a great hitter, even if you were supposed to be fooled with a breaking ball, you still, the mechanism of your hands and your swing, at least as the ball's tracking you start your swing, is the same, isn't it? It should be.
Yeah, and if your weight's balanced and things like that, sure, then you can adjust to other pitches.
3-1. I guess it wasn't 3-1. That's what the scoreboard said. So now it's 3-1. I apologize about that. Now the scoreboard says 3-2. I don't think that was a strike.
I think Job is confused.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, here we go.
Well, okay, everybody was right. So it is a walk. Has 2 straight walks for Job Chamberlain. And ironically enough, those are his first 2 walks of the night. That's the official counter right there, not the scoreboard. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Here's Mark Ellis.
Oh, you mentioned earlier about a swing and bunt single, how frustrating that is. It's frustrating when you throw a pitch and the hitter thinks it's a strike, the catcher, the pitcher thinks it's a strike, and they call it a ball. the batter's not even going down first.
That one gets through the wickets of Posada as both runners move up.
Let's see if there's a slider down. As Michael said, through the wickets, wild pitch. Get the body down, glove down. Keep it in front.
So now a ground ball could give them a lead, not a lead, to tie the game. Ground ball through the infield would give them a lead. Scored a wild pitch. Foul back. Now he's got 2 strikes on him, Al. Is he thinking, okay, I'm trying for a strikeout here, just so the run doesn't score?
Absolutely. You're going to throw your best slider. You can't worry about whether Posada's going to be able to catch a breaking ball in the dirt because you don't want to hang it. You got a shot at 2 pitches here. Pitcher's pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, throw it.
That's what he did, but Ellis did not offer. Now, when you know that the pitcher's trying to strike you out, Paul, is your approach different?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in the same situation as the hitter. You're looking for a ball up in the zone here, something you can get out of the infield, automatically get a run in. So, I mean, he's trying to strike you out with a ball off the plate. You're trying to get a ball up. I mean, you can handle something out of the zone up, but something low, not going to score that run. You've seen a couple breaking balls, and then you saw kind of a two-seamer, which you don't see from Java very much. That had late movement on it, 95 miles an hour. That's that pitch that, you said early in the game, not every pitch has to be as hard as you can go. That's about as hard as you can go because you're in a situation where a strikeout can save a run.
Driven down the right field line, giving chase is Swisher, but it slices foul.
See, there are certain hitters that have good 2-strike approach. Right now, Mark Ellis is doing that. He's tracking the breaking ball. He's going to fight the fastball off. That's why he was late. Allow himself to get a breaking ball up in the zone. You see in the ball, the setup pitch here really is something hard in. You get a guy shorten his swing, his approach. All he's thinking about is up the middle, right center field, and pound him in on the hands.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Nasty, tight slider.
Or a slider way. This is nasty. Late emergency hack. He had the bigger breaking ball earlier than that. Once he committed, it's too late.
Yeah, I always look at bats right there with the pitch that you miss. And it was the pitch before. It was a fastball up in the zone, out over the plate. He was late on, didn't keep it fair. That's the pitch you got to get, what you got to get done as a hitter. See, Job was, what's he got in his water? I mean, it just shows emotion, and you know how you save a run by striking out people, and that I mean, even up here on the booth, you can see how, you know, players at certain points in the game, you play on emotion, and I love to see it.
Fastball strike. That was the 21st pitch of the inning right there. He's got 72 total. Don Patterson, Eric's dad, was a defensive back with the Giants in 1980, so he got sports in his DNA.
Again, now if you're Patterson and you go back, you don't get a hit here, but you look back at that pitch, that was right down the middle, a fastball, and you fouled it off. You can't foul that pitch off. You see that pitch right there, that's a mistake. You see Georgie reach back out over the plate, and as a hitter, you know, now you're in a strikeout count where you have to try to cover everything, and that's where you wail at that pitch down out of the, you know, out of the zone.
He struck him out. And Java is pumped up as he works out of a second and third one-out jam without allowing a run, and he holds on to the lead. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. A couple of nasty pitches gets him out of a jam. He strikes out Ellis, and he strikes out Patterson. And with those strikeouts, he's pretty pumped up himself. We're halfway through. Buzzing from those 2 strikeouts. Yankees are up 2-1, and Nick Swisher leads off. And there's a strike from Brett Anderson. 28 pitches in the 3rd inning. Economical otherwise, 65 pitches overall. Lexus scoreboard 2-4-0 for the Yanks, 1-2-0 for the A's. The impressive thing about the 7-game winning streak for the Yankees, there have been no blowouts. It's been all about good pitching, pretty good defense, and clutch hitting. Yesterday's victory was the widest margin of victory they've had in the 7 games, 3 runs. They had 3 2-1 victories in a row, which was the first time in franchise history that happened. They've used Mariano Rivera a lot of save situations, so they played good baseball to get those 7 wins in a row.
And that's, for me, Michael, that's a great sign that, look, you get good starting pitching, the domino effect, your bullpen is sharper, they're not being overworked, they got guys where they belong, hopefully you can get adequate rest, and Joe can get different go-to guys and not have to lean on the same guys. And then the offense, as good as the Yankee offense is, if they don't think they have to bang out 4, 5, 6 runs a night to stay in the game, it makes their bats easier. When they have, the whole, right now for me, watching the Yankees, I think this is the best they've looked. Not just because they're winning, but how they're winning. They're not winning 12-9 and 8-7. All the way around, this is a good little segment right now this season.
You know, I felt that when they were winning all those walk-off games, I thought that that was fool's gold. Because you can't win games like that all the time. You can't win pennants on walk-off games all the time. You can't have these magical comebacks. You've got to grind out wins and do it in that fashion. Good pitching, defense, and keeping a lead straight throughout. This is more representative of a good team than those walk-off wins.
Much better, but you got to remember as a player that, you know, through ups and downs of the year, okay, now you're going through a great time where you're comfortable, you expect to win, your team's playing well, but you got to remember things can change. There can be some injuries. There can be all of a sudden some slumps. I mean, you're the same team that almost got booed off the field here against the Nationals and then went down to Florida and didn't play well. So if you relax, you know, you can get rid of what's going on good. And that's what you bring to the ballpark every day. We're playing well, but you got to continue to go out there and make it happen, because you just can't sit back and relax and expect it to happen, or all of a sudden you start getting beat by teams you should beat.
2-1 to Cabrera. Foul away. Melky with a big double in the third inning, moving Cano to third and setting up the Yankees 2 runs. That's the difference in the game right now. Chop slowly toward first. Barton fields. It's going to be a tough play. And Melky beat it out. Ellis took the throw, but that was kind of in no man's land. And Melky has good speed, turned it into a hit as Swisher moves to second.
I'll tell you one thing, Alan. I mean, Anderson has had trouble getting over to first base. I mean, if he covers there, he's safe anyway. As a pitcher, I mean, you've got to get there. These are just base hits.
Well, as a couple things, left-hander, he's fallen off to third base. He's not the most agile, as we see. Right there, if his best shot was for the first baseman to give him a little shovel pass. Anderson, he can run up the line. That's why, as a pitcher, you're taught run to the line and then run parallel with the runner. You have a shot at getting the ball and tagging him right there. He's not very athletic, and his movement is a little stiff.
Now, they want you to run to the line and then run parallel, because if you run right to the bag, you're going to run it to the runner.
That's also dangerous, yes. But also, Michael, an opportunity to get the shovel pass early, and now you can run in conjunction with the runner. I can tag him.
Here's Jeter. And there's a strike. And also the natural motion that Al's talking about of a left-hander, his momentum is going to carry him to the third base side. So he's probably 1 or 2 steps farther away from first base than a righty is, as Anderson now is throwing 75 pitches. A righty falls naturally over toward first.
Push bunt to right side would be real tough for him. Watch him fall, finish, third base. Now he's going to spin around. He's not sleeping. It's just a matter of him just not being quick.
He's giving Jeter a steady diet of those breaking balls. Even he got beat last time with a man on third base. He got a ball up and he shot it to right field, but he continues to try to get that ball down and in with that big breaking ball.
Well, as pitchers are creatures of habit, maybe hitters are too, but in that first at bat, he struck out Jeter swinging over that slider. That first pitch slider was somewhere in this area down here, which is what a left-hander tries to do, bury it down and in.
Pounded softly toward Ellis. He does get the force at second, which is a nice play. I don't think he tried that. And he gets the force on Cabrera as Jeter reaches on the fielder's choice and Swisher moves to third.
Michael, you're right. Every once in a while as a fielder, you see just a heads-up play. And right here, instead of taking the sure easy out at first base, you take a little chance, give that out. Now you keep that double play in order. Ground ball will get you out of the inning. Good, smart play.
Here's Johnny Damon. He drove in the Yankees' second run with a fielder's choice ground out. Pitch inside. Another huge crowd on hand here at the stadium. It's turned into a really nice Friday night. Saturday and Sunday afternoon, these two teams go at it again. Weak hack there by Dave, more of a wave. Count 1-1. We're starting to see, this kid's older eating cotton candy, but I mean, let's see if our great camera crew can find an adult eating cotton candy. It's a challenge.
Michael, I was texted by a friend. Apparently, there's cotton candy ice cream at the Four Seasons restaurant made for adults. It sits on a mound of vanilla ice cream with candied violets.
Really? See, only Al's got friends that hang out at the Four Seasons.
Yeah, we're eating like Boar's Head sandwiches and stuff, right?
Right.
There's a ground ball left side, backhanded nicely by Cabrera. They get the force at second. It's an RBI fielder's choice as Swisher scores and the Yankees lead 3-1.
Again, defensively, Oakland's made a couple good plays this inning. Cabrera gets that ball. We talked about he might have a little knee problem. Does that little pirouette, kind of Jeter-esque there, and it's a good throw to second base.
Couple gold gloves under Cabrera's career.
Teixeira takes a strike. Well, there's an adult having some cotton candy.
Give these guys behind the camera a challenge, Mike.
There's that jump pass, Jeter-esque play by Cabrera to get the force. Paul, I just got a text from one of my friends. They said that at White Castle they have cotton candy stuff.
You know about White Castle?
Slow roller past the diving Anderson. And a nice play there by Adam Kennedy to get Mark Teixeira for the final out of the fifth. But the Yankees get a run on just one hit, and they leave one. Anderson's all over the place, not coming up with much. He gives up a run. We play 5. It's 3-1 Yanks. And computer world, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. We go to the 6th inning. Adam Kennedy leads off against Johnny Chamberlain. Pitch is high. Popped up. A-Rod in foul territory. One away. As great as a player as Alex Rodriguez is, you can just tell how everybody smiles. He just battles pop-ups. They're not easy for him. Everything is an adventure.
Played with a guy in Cincinnati. You remember Chris Sabo? Good defensive player. Was an ex-hockey goalie. Great anything on the ground. But boy, you threw it up in the air and it was a different story. Wore those old goggles and was always looking over to Barry Larkin to call him up on those little fly balls.
Was it Sabo or Benzinger who was on the receiving end of your kick in right field? What's going on there?
Well, we got some more questions to ask other than the water. Oh, we got to add a little water to it. Wow.
Wow.
Benzinger. Back to your point, Benzinger. Yeah, Benzinger was the one that told me he had nothing on the throw.
Now, this is not a replay. He's still doing this. Okay. The 2-0 is fouled away.
I was waiting for an explanation of that, Michael. You usually have the answers for me up here.
I do not have the answer to that, Paul.
All right, I'm ready to go.
Is it a superstition or a routine?
I heard you guys talking about that yesterday with No More Garciaparra. Is it a superstition or routine or an idiosyncrasy? You didn't throw that one in. Did you have any of those, Paul?
I had habits. You know, I don't know that.
Habits.
I don't think any of them were like superstition, but you just have habits. When I walked in, I put on the same shorts, the same shirt, and it just kind of got into
now, is that
habits.
superstitious or is that his routine?
I think it's superstitious. Because if he hated talking to me. And if he got 2 hits after talking to me, he'd seek me out to talk to me.
Then that's superstitious. But if he did the same thing 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, and he did it the same thing every day,
that's right.
That becomes
Come
routine.
on, now get on it. Let's go. He's right in front of you.
Messier's kid got the ball.
I'm going to send him a note. See if he's got any superstitions. Other than blitzing somebody on the ice, huh? You know what's funny at that picture? No matter what he did on the hockey rink, he could never do that for his own kid. Just a little foul ball, and that made the night.
Now it is driven out to right field. Swisher is there. 2 away. You know, most ball players, I think, respect ball players that are winners. And that's one of the greatest winners in sports history right there.
Look at that.
Now that's big league. Because he probably told this kid, we can get balls. Okay, let's give it to another kid.
If he's got Brandon Steiner next to him, he's gonna get a cheer bug. God knows what he'll get after that. Don't worry, I'll get you a couple more.
That's right.
Hot shot to third. Alex Rodriguez grabs across the diamond. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jabba Chamberlain, who has thrown 85 pitches and thrown very nicely. Okay, time now for a word from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Take it away, Brett. Brought by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, the Yankees' future so bright, they got to wear shades as they're leading 3-1, trying to win their 8th straight game out of the break. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Alex Rodriguez will lead off against Brett Anderson. And the pitch upstairs, 1-0. Alex is 0 for 2, line to short. Check that line to second and struck out looking. Line drive to left field. Hairston is there, can't see the ball, and it gets past him, and it rolls to the wall. Rodriguez is at second, he'll stop right there. They did not get a glove on the ball, so it will probably not be an E7. It will be a double for A-Rod.
There's a couple dead zones in ballparks, and it's usually as their left fielder's right there, and you see it come in, and it's just in the lights. Not much you can do with it. You can shield it. You just hope it comes out. It scored a double, obviously, but you know, as an outfielder, you hope that it comes out, or you can get in an angle to get it out of the lights. Sometimes you can't.
That must be scary too. There's a chance to get it in the face.
Well, I mean, you usually can feel your body and how far you are from the ball, but it's just the only thing that's going through your mind is it's got to come out of the light so I can catch this thing, and it doesn't until it's too late.
Nice piece of hitting there by Posada. Outstanding. Going the other way as he moves Rodriguez to third.
Again, every once in a while as a hitter, you've got a job to do, whether it means giving up in a bat or not. You try to drive him in. But your job as a right-handed hitter here in Jorge's position is to shoot the ball to right. Gets it done. Now he's kind of set the table for Matsui to get another job done, and let's get another run in here.
The A's bring the infield in. '88th pitch of the night for Anderson was upstairs, 1-0. That should get the run in. Slow roll to second. It will get the run in. A-Rod slides in. Yankees lead 4-1 RBI for Matsui.
A lot of times with the infield's in, you leave it up to the base runner. You go on contact or a good read. It's a good read on Alex Rodriguez's part. You see the ball high chopper. Score easily.
Well, Matsui gets credit for his 43rd RBI, but that element right there is just a beautiful component of the lineup as a whole. The guy giving himself up, Posada, chopper, not hit hard, enough away from the pitcher, you get a run scored. That's a team run, equivalent to the National League where a pitcher gets a bunt down and the guy gets a base hit, run score.
After a couple of choppers, you wonder if he's almost like, all right, I've had enough.
Part of it. Line drives, home runs, choppers, swinging bunts. That's what makes this game great and frustrating at the same time.
Now, Cano came out early today because he thought yesterday he had a problem with pitches inside and belt high. And he had Tony Pena throwing that pitch in there consistently to him in early batting practice under the watchful eye of Kevin Long. So he noticed that he was uncomfortable with the pitch yesterday and worked on it today.
A lot of times when you can't get to that ball inside, it's because you're getting out on your front foot just a little bit too quick. It's hard to open up real quick on an inside pitch when your weight gets out front.
Count 2-2.
And as a staff as a whole, Paul, maybe you could dovetail here. You generally go into a series and there's a scout report for the hitters as a whole, and then generally you'll see a staff pitch a guy a certain way. I mean, did you feel that way with some staffs?
Later in my career, I thought it was the weirdest thing that if you had a bad series, you could almost guarantee what scouts were in the stands. That's the way you were going to be pitched the next series, and you get onto some of those things. And if you had trouble with the ball inside, for the next couple weeks, you were going to see a lot of pitches inside, and that's the way baseball is. You know, it's not always what you do in your career. It's how you're swinging the bat now, what pitches you're hitting right now.
You ever set a pitcher up, Paul? Making him throw a pitch later on in the game?
Nah, I was never really good at that, and I think
some guys did that, right?
Oh, Tino did it a lot. You know, Posado looked for certain pitches. It almost becomes a guessing game, and you know, I look for certain. I never worried about the next at bat. I was always looking for something I could do right now, and that was too hard for me to try to set up something that may never occur later.
I absolutely believe that hitters would do that. Swing at it, break a ball way in the dirt, just wave at it, and they shake their head like, oh, I didn't see it. Man, they're setting up. They're looking for it. You know, let's shake off.
Who was good at that?
I thought, I mean, I'm just watching here. Damon flailed at a first pitch slider down the way this last at bat, and it looked like, you know, clearly a ball, and you know, he's a little frustrated about it. Was able to get another one, thinking, okay, now this pitcher thinks I can't handle it. Stays on it. Was able to get the force out to Cabrera's right, and was able to get a run score out of it.
3-2. Hot shot up the middle off the foot of Anderson, and it caroms in the center field for a base hit.
Now, on that note, Al, I know if a pitcher made me look sick on a pitch, in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to get it again.
Yep.
And vice versa. If you take you see Robinson Cano, good piece of hitting right here, especially against left-handers as a left-handed hitter. Keep the ball in the middle of the field. Know you're not going to pull off. Pretty good fastball.
Actually hit there's a hole where the pitcher lands. After a while, it gets a little deep. Nice.
You know, also, Al, back of that point, what I noticed, say the first time up I hit a home run on a fastball in, you could almost turn the page knowing you're not going to get that fastball in. And sometimes if you did, you just took it because you didn't expect it. I mean, did you have a problem throwing that same pitch in if a guy got a big hit off you?
Only if I knew it was in.
Foul.
Meaning I tried to come in on you and you cleared, and I know it was inside corner or black, or maybe even go up in the clubhouse and find it. Was that inside? Yeah, he pulled his hands, and then I would stay away from it. But if I tried to come in, Russ Springer warming up for the A's, and I tried to come in and I know it was inner half as opposed to inner third or black, I'd come in again because it was a mistake.
I'm wondering, though, you said that Damon waved at that pitch, and then the next time he took care of it. So, but he didn't wave at that pitch on purpose, so he could get it again. Did the hitters ever wave at something on purpose?
I think so.
So they can get it later?
As you asked that question, I think of Todd Zeile. I played with Todd with the Mets and, pitched against him. I think he was a guy that would set you up. Especially guys when they got older, they're just trying to find an edge. The bat speed gets a little slower, they're cheating, they clear a little bit earlier. They're going to set you up. Certain guy, Joe Carter, I used to think absolutely Joe Carter would set a pitcher up. Joe would just flail out some breaking stuff.
He was an RBI guy, so later, he'd throw it in for 2 or 3 RBIs later. I do agree with you.
1-2, strike 3, and Nick Swisher is down looking. But the Yankees get a run, and they build it. First, you get a double by Alex Rodriguez, which was misplayed by Scott Hairston. So Alex is on second. Then Jorge Posada hits the ball to the right side, moving Alex over to third. And then a ground ball, ABC baseball, and the Yankees lead 4-1. coffee. At Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. WB Mason, who but? That was the guy who's got cotton candy on the mind.
Bender.
Why he's so hyper. All that sugar. We go to the 7th inning. Jabba Chamberlain pitching a 2-hitter. Pitch outside 1-0. Let's put a little bit of a grade on him so far. Al, what do you think?
I think he's this far from his last start, what he did against Detroit. Obviously, when you get a little lead, you're able to get comfortable, obviously getting down 1-0. But overall, I like the fact that he's used all of his pitches, hasn't been ahead as many at-bats. And he needs that emotion, as Paul mentioned in the last inning. He gets all fired up.
Toss flies out to Johnny Damon. Hey, time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question, which of these recent acquisitions will have the greatest impact on his new team? You've been voting at 58772. Here are the results. 55% think that St. Louis, which is in first place already, is going to be helped by the acquisition of Matt Holliday. 35%, obviously Yankee fans watching this game, think Eric Hinsky will help. Adam LaRoche goes to Boston, and Jeff Francoeur. Can you really help the Mets right now the way they're playing? The pitch is upstairs, 1-0. And there's Eric Hinsky. He's shown a lot of power for the Yankees. Top of the 6th inning, Red Sox lead the Orioles 3-1 tonight.
Is there going to be a time, though? I mean, Hinsky's come in here, and you're right. In the number of at-bats he's had, he's driven the ball out of the ballpark. He's driven in some runs. There's going to be a point in time where he thinks, I need to be playing. I need to be playing more, and that's going to be the tough thing for Joe Girardi, to get him enough at-bats.
Grounded to Teixeira. He takes it himself. 2 away. Hey, even if you're not home, you can still catch the game. Now Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Jabba's thrown 90 pitches here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. 52 strikes, 38 balls. Here's Ryan Sweeney. And there's a strike.
Yeah, but what you mentioned, Paul, what a problem to have for Joe Girardi, to have the competition. I think with Melky and Brett Gardner, that's a healthy thing for them to be fighting it out and have both having good years, to keep pushing each other. You mentioned Eric Hinsky. I talked to him. He said he's having a ball. I mean, this is a lot of fun. He's been around American League, Rookie of the Year a few years ago.
High fly ball. Center field. Melky drifts back, still back. In front of the track, he makes the play. A 1-2-3, 8-pitch inning for Jobber Chamberlain. He has thrown 93 pitches. He's been economical, and he has been strong, and he has outdueled Brett Anderson. After 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the A's 4-1, but we stay right here in the Bronx as we honor America.
As we remember the service.
Thank you, Bob. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Yankees lead the A's 4-1. Kind of a pitcher's duel between Chamberlain and Brett Anderson. The Yankees have made the most of their hits. They were down 1-0 after 1, but Jabba has really shut down the A's since then. Just 2 hits, and the Yankees have picked up 4 runs along the way. Jabba gave up a hit in the first, a double to Cabrera, a single to center by Sweeney in the second. Since then, only 2 walks. There's a strike to Melky Cabrera. Melky's 2 for 2. He doubled to left and scored in the third, and then had a Baltimore chopper toward first, a single in the fifth. And he has another single. He's 3 for
3. See Melky Cabrera putting together good at bats. Staying back on that breaking ball. Ball down the line last time, drove it in the hole this time. So if you stay back as a hitter, that ball ends up in the middle of the plate, a little up. Much better pitch to hit for a hitter.
Were you a better hitter when you were happy?
Well, I was always so happy, right, Michael?
He would hit 125.
I see Melky and Cano, they're always smiling.
Gina grounds one in the hole. Nice play by Cabrera. And he doesn't get Cabrera. Melky loses balance, falls off, but he keeps connection with second base. And Melky hustling got Derek Jeter a hit.
Again, good defensive play. He got no chance at Jeter at first. Cabrera, what happened if Ellis bobbled the ball? And that's why he was safe. I mean, Ellis bobbles that ball, doesn't come up with it cleanly, and he tries to get back. Melky does everything he can to stick a foot on the bag. But again, good play by Cabrera. Actually gives Ellis a good handle, that he just couldn't get the handle on the baseball.
Ellis had the wrong foot on the bag. You see, he had his left leg on the bag with the glove on his left hand. He would have had a better stretch.
Johnny Damon bunts foul. So were you a better hitter when you were happy, Paul?
No, back to your point out, there's no doubt about it. When things are going well, and I think it's important for teammates to, there's certain teammates that always hang out together.
You know, he has his left leg like a first baseman would put his non-throwing leg stretched out. He could have had that maybe about 2 or 3 more feet closer to Cabrera.
Johnny Damon swings through that, but you can always tell Melky and Cano, I mean, they're kind of hitting partners, and when one's going well, the other one tries to live up to the other guy, and it's not a competition, but it makes you feel comfortable that some of your best friends on the team are going through the same good things at the plate that you are.
Were you a happy pitcher, Al? When things were going well at home with Lori and the kids, were you a better pitcher? Yeah. And when you had a fight with your wife, were you a lousy pitcher?
I just bring Jack to the field.
Jack being your son.
Yeah. No, but overall, hey, look, they're not robots, they're people. As Paul was saying, if you have a buddy that's closer to you, you go on the road, you have lunch, you're hanging out with your teammates, you're not commiserating, you feel good about what's going on.
Hot shot to Cabrera. This should be 2. There's 1 on the first. Turns the double play as Cabrera moves to third.
And looking back, Michael, the best manager I ever played for, and I played for a lot of them, that realized what was going on off the field, what was going on in people's life, affected the way. You see this. Cabrera makes another great play defensively. High throw, but turns the double play. But he realized that people off the field, if they were happy off the field, were better players. It was Joe Torre. He realized that people were people before they were players, but when they got here, he was able to help you get through things, to help you concentrate on baseball.
2-to-1 strike to ball ratio for Anderson, 72 to 36. He's got 108 overall. Russ Springer is ready in the bullpen, just waiting for the call. Pitch to Teixeira's high.
We do have to ask some questions on this Anderson fellow tomorrow. He's got some things going on in the dugout.
Paul's getting here early tomorrow.
If we were in Oakland, we could probably go down to Haight-Ashbury and get a good vision on what's going on in his mind in the dugout there.
I think I'll just ask Bob Garrett tomorrow.
I was going to send you on a little road trip, Michael.
I'll pass on the Haight-Ashbury.
Oh, come on. It's just a cliche, Michael. Nothing happens there.
You a big Grateful Dead fan, Paul?
No, that was a little before. What, you know, when I was in '61, I used to listen to that. No, that was a little before my time. But, you know, I had older brothers, so like the Stones and stuff like that, they were 60s, 70s. That was great.
So what, you have Barry Metal, or what was your...
You know what? Mandy was big. That was my first basketball party in 7th grade, Mandy.
You played Mandy in your first basketball party?
No, but I danced to Mandy.
Oh.
You know? First slow dance, those are good memories, Michael.
Was that Neville you slow dance with?
Absolutely.
For those that don't know, Paul's known his wife since what, you were 5?
Kindergarten. We went to kindergarten together, yeah.
Well, that poor woman.
Not many secrets in the O'Neill house. Yeah. Team O'Neill had a golf tournament today. It didn't work out the way we planned.
Pitches outside. I mean, can you imagine? Remember when Willie Roundup was the third base coach and they called him Windmill Willie? That's St. Peter when Neville gets up there. You're coming right in. Well, Bob Guerin's going to take Brett Anderson with him after he walks Mark Teixeira. The Yankees have runners on first and third. Anderson did a nice job. You can see there's a lot of potential there. He leaves trailing 4-1. They'll bring in Russ Springer to face Alex Rodriguez. Yankees hold a 4-1 lead. Stay right here. On the A's, the first 18,000 fans 14 and younger are going to receive a collectible truck, the 5th in the series, courtesy of WB Mason. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, Bob Guerin makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. Good job by Brett Anderson. He threw 114 pitches. His season high, 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2, struck out 7. You can see why they like him as a pitcher. He certainly got great potential, but he leaves runners on first and third as they turn it over to Russ Springer to deal with Alex Rodriguez. Springer. Fastball inside. Springer, he was a long time ago a big-time Yankee prospect, but he's bounced around, made a nice career for himself, though. Several teams, and see what he's done so far this year in 40 games, 4.67. More than a strikeout per inning, but also more than a hit per inning. Foul back.
I see Russ Springer still 92 miles an hour, but he used to throw mid-90s. Never really could move his fastball. It was all right at you. as a hitter, you know, you knew you were going to get good straight fastball before the bat. It always had a good arm.
He's a guy that the club might pick up. He's 40 years old. He told me yesterday that he thinks this is going to be it for him.
I don't get it. Well, if you could still throw 93.
Family.
Well, the family makes out better when you're making $1.5 million a year.
Yeah, but before you know it, college, and they're out of the house, and
But
see
you
you
know,
later.
I always laugh when baseball players, you get 5 months that no other person has that has a 9-to-5 job. You hit them 5 months.
You answer that one there, Paul?
I don't think you can.
No, I mean, there is a time. I don't think it always is that I can't play at this level anymore. I think sometimes it becomes a concentration issue. There's other things going on in your life. If you don't, you know, have that same emotion day in and day out, you as a player kind of just say, you know,
The fire.
Yeah,
the fire burns out a little.
You don't, and that's one good thing about playing in New York is you don't lose that fire because the fans and the people expect you not to. And having to win every single day, I think players can play longer at a higher level.
Well, both of you guys arguably left with something in the tank. The Yankees wanted you back. The Yankees wanted you back too, Paul. You retired very early. Al, you were a little older when you retired, but still,
39.
they wanted you back. I mean, the last guy you faced in spring training, you got out.
Yep.
Who was it?
Eduardo Perez, and he was a pain my whole career.
Eddie liked those left-handed pitchers.
The 2-2. Nice block there by Suzuki.
Aside from family, I hear you, Michael. Yes, you get 5 months off, but I think Paul is making the best point of it is when you play a long time, if you're lucky enough, like Paul and I, to have had a long career, there is that little fire that has to burn. And if you played at a high level, as Paul did, and you don't feel that, you know, who are you tricking? If you're not able to really, you know, grind it out and really have that mental toughness for 181 days.
Runner will go on 3-2 as A-Rod fouls back. Now, people might wonder why did Al retire in spring training. Pitched in the WBC, wanted to retire in a Yankee uniform, made an out, or got somebody, got Eduardo Perez out.
Eduardo Perez,
and then
Randy Johnson.
Torrey took the ball from him.
Yes.
Simple enough.
Started most of my whole career, and there was an opportunity as a left-hander out of the Yankee bullpen in 2005, and you know, I just thought retiring was the right thing.
Both wanted to spend more time with me. And the 3-2, swing and a miss, and Springer, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, strikes out Alex Rodriguez. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the 8th, 4-1. On yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the three of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Java Chamberlain, number 2, Johnny Damon, number 3, Derek Jeter, number 4, Melky Cabrera. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. You know, we started at the beginning of our broadcast going over these restated Java rules, and you see what Java's done. This is one of his best games. 7 innings, just 1 run, 2 hits, 93 pitches. And the Yankees are very serious about this innings limit. Now, what it is, they're keeping it a secret, but to the best of our guesstimate, it's probably about 150 innings. So he started today at 95 2/3. And you wonder, Al, he's only getting better. His last 2 starts have been really good. The temptation for the Yankees, they need back-end starters. I mean, are they going to stick to that number and say, hey, listen, for the better of him, we got to take him out of the rotation?
Okay, for the fun of it. You're now the manager. He now rattles off 6, 7 good starts in a row. His last start, he gets his 150 some odd innings, and he throws a shutout. You're not going to pitch him?
What if you're tied and you've got a weekend series in Boston? Are you going to skip a start? I don't think so.
No, but this is the potential dilemma. It would be a good thing for the Yankees. But let's assume he gets on a roll here. If he gets to 150, throws a 3-hit shutout. Now his next start's against the Red Sox. Do you skip him or you don't pitch him? I don't know. That's a tough call.
Well, here's the thing, too, and we mentioned this at the start of the show. I don't think they're going to get up to whatever that limit is. They're not going to, like, take it up to that 150 number and then he gets shut down, because they're going to want to use him in the bullpen if there is a postseason for the Yankees. So they might stop him at 130 to just get those 20 innings of relief out of him. It's a real delicate balance that they're dealing with as he ends up walking Garrett Barton, and Dave Island goes out and talks with him. But there are innings limits, and if you look throughout baseball, young pitchers that are abused, that throw well more than 40 innings more than they had the previous year, they blow out. And Al, you blew out.
No doubt about it. But we're not talking about the 4th start of the year in a cold, frigid day at Yankee Stadium, throwing 162 pitches. 2 starts later, I couldn't lift my arm. 3 about a month later, I was having surgery at Dr. Andrews in Birmingham. So that, I mean, they're somewhere between coddling and being too protective to abuse.
Well, the most that Java's ever pitched in his career, his professional career, was 100 pitches. And the Yankees, like a lot of organizations, have done their research, and they feel that you increase the workload by 40 innings each year until you get them up to a 200-inning starter, so you don't compromise a young arm. The 0-1. And Mark Ellis gets plunked. Java tried to come in, and he couldn't get it done. He clips Ellis, putting runners on first and second.
You see completely missing his target away. Obviously no intent here, just lost a fastball.
Now that's going to do it for Java, and he is going to get a huge ovation from this crowd of 46,000 plus. Listen to it as the Yankees go to the bullpen. So Java threw 100 pitches. He tips his cap, and Phil Koch makes his way in to try to stop the rally. 5, Acura advance. And by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Well, that's our view right from behind us onto the field. As the Yankees have runners on first and second against them, then they bring in Phil Koch. And Nomar Garcia-Parra gets booed as he is going to pinch hit for Eric Patterson. Played first base for the A's last night. It's so odd to see a guy who was really at the top of the line player-wise not that long ago, and now he's kind of become a glorified utility. It's really hard to grasp.
It's amazing because I saw that at bat last night where Jeter got on first and they were sitting there talking. I couldn't agree with you more, Michael. It was almost a tale of two stars, and one has stayed healthy and stayed with one organization, become an absolute superstar with Derek Jeter. And the other one has been, plagued with injuries. You're right. I mean, one of the league's best hitters, batting champion in Boston. And his career just has not taken off from that level like Derek Jeter's has. And it was strange to see those two standing at the first base last night and see what has happened in the last 5 years to two great players.
The 1-1.
Well, I know Yankee fans like to boo him, the Boston series and all. Look at that, 14 stints on the St. Louis. Nomar's a really good guy. And I asked him that yesterday about, what's it like? Just what we're talking about. He said, I still love the game. And the whole fire is in the pit of his stomach. And he says, I don't care. I'm a baseball player. I get an opportunity to get in the bat, help a team wherever. I want to play. That was refreshing based on all the what ifs. I mean, this guy was on course to be a future Hall of Famer, borderline. I'm sure if he stayed healthy.
Look what he did his rookie year. Won the Rookie of the Year 306, 30 homers, 98 ribbies from the shortstop hole. Won the batting title twice. Look at those numbers: 357, 372. Six-time All-Star. Those are Hall of Fame bound numbers, but his career has fizzled out because of the injuries. 1-2, swung on a miss. Koch got him swinging.
Going back to Job in the innings pitch, and if you look at, you go over the pitch by pitch here, Al.
Tacked him with a fastball in, trying to bust him in, get him conscious and hard in. Fought it off there. That may have been his best pitch. No, there's a hanging slider right there, and then buries the good one.
Again,
one pitch to hit.
He had one pitch to hit, yep. And you swung through it. But back to the Job of pitch things, and I look back at like 2001 for you. I mean, you were the state, help me here. You're the staff ace here, and you pitched all the big games, all the way through the playoffs, all the way through the World Series. Next year, do you feel worn out, or do you recover? Because as a hitter, I mean, you have all those huge at-bats, but by next year, you recover.
Well, my last start, it was 143rd pitch that Louis Soho had a 13 chopped up the middle. You guys won the World Series in 2000.
That one's drilled to right field, backing up Swisher. And he makes the play in front of the warning track. So Kennedy is retired.
I think there is some residual effect, even though it's October, November, December, January, February. 4 months, 3.5 months to rest. That it does change. As a pitcher, your winter throwing program. Normally I'd start mid-December. I remember I started a little bit later based on how deep you go, how many more innings you get. So there is some residual effect.
So it's just not 3 or 4 games down the road from a big start. It can be the whole offseason from a big year for a pitcher.
Yes.
Did you have a good year in 2001?
I don't remember.
2002 would have been.
No, 2001
2000 was the Subway Series.
Oh, that's right. See, my years are a little off tonight, Mike.
Yeah, back to 61. So 2 away for Koch, and that'll bring up the dangerous Orlando Cabrera. Koch has become a very valuable pitcher out of that bullpen. The only lefty until Damaso Marte returns. And he can get out righties, though. That's a big value with him as well. That's just a matchup lefty. Fastball strike at 94 miles an hour right on the outside corner.
Early in the year, Michael, we were talking about how we're going to try to fix everything that's going on bad on the field as far as the pitching in the back end of the bullpen of the pitching. But everything right now, if you look at it, is good for the Yankees. The bullpen's been good. The starting pitching's been great.
Posada blocks that one, but it rolls up the first baseline as the runners move up.
You're almost looking for opportunities to get guys some appearances now that the pitching has been so good.
That's right. Joe Girardi was talking about that because of how well and how close the games are. These 2-1 games. Michael, you mentioned this wasn't big gaps. Yesterday was the biggest gap of 3 runs. David Robertson hasn't pitched since the Angels series before the All-Star break.
Mark Melanson. And Bernice has pitched once.
So, then that becomes another. It's a good problem. Just like, you mentioned about Hinsky and guys that are, that could play and get more bats. When you're winning and you're on all cylinders, it's the hardest thing for a manager.
Big spot in this game, second and third now. And that was punch foul. A base hit by Cabrera. It could be 4-3. And Posada runs out the top with Coke. Wants to make sure that they're on the same page with this pitch.
And maybe Jorge may go out and give him a different sign. If it was first sign after 2, hey, let's go first sign after 3 or whatever. After several pitches with a runner at second base, Mark Ellis has seen a few. You change the sign.
Tough pitch to take there. I mean, Cabrera takes that like he knew it was coming, and you can just tell a hot hitter. And you see that, I mean, that's a pitch that a lot of people in that situation down in the count will go after. Cabrera, one of the hotter hitters, especially on the Oakland Athletics, and it's confidence is a good thing.
2-2 off the foot of Cabrera. He limps around. After the final out of this game against the A's, you have to tune in or stay tuned for the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. You know the stars of that show. Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones have the highlights and analysis from this game and also all around baseball. Plus, you get the quotes from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame only on Yes. Many in the crowd of 46,086. Letting their lungs spill out. But 2-2. Did he hold up? No, he did not. He goes around. And Phil Coke does some job. He strikes out Garcia Parra, gets Kennedy to fly to right, and Orlando Cabrera cannot hold up on that pitch in the dirt. And Java the spectator becomes Java the happy teammate as the Yankees have a 4-1 lead. Time for the Land Rover drive of the game. Took place in the 6th inning.
And that was Alex Rodriguez getting a fastball down the way, driving that ball. It was in the lights. Scott Hairston losing it. And ended up being the start of the 4th run. They're getting to be able to score after Posada moving them over. Land Rover drive of the game.
Drive of the game ended up in the lights. I don't know if we've had that all year.
No, it's the first, huh?
New pitcher for the A's, the left-hander Craig Breslow, and Mariano, who had last night off. Phil Hughes picked up his first major league save with 2 innings of scoreless relief. Mariano's getting ready. Craig Breslow is ready. You see his numbers. The only lefty in the bullpen for the A's. So he'll face Posada, Matsui, and Cano. So switch hitter and 2 lefties. High fly ball, deep left field. Hairston back, looking up. See ya! A long home run. Jorge Posada, and the Yankees lead 5-1. And Mo takes a seat. Well, once the lead is 4 runs, there is no save, and Mo almost stopped in mid-motion as Posada's 13th home run of the year gives the Yankees a 4-run cushion.
Every once in a while as a hitter, you look dead red, fastball out over the plate. Jorge got it. It's one of the higher, longer drives I've seen Jorge hit right-handed. A little courtesy trot in left field.
And now Brian Bruni will heat up, and he'll come in a non-save situation. Matsui swings and misses. In this winning streak, the Yankees have not had a 4-run win. As we mentioned, their biggest margin of victory was 3 runs yesterday, 6-3. Ground ball to second. Ellis is there. 1 away. A's did also make a defensive change. Rajai Davis takes over in center field because Garcia Parra had pinch hit for Eric Patterson. Here's Rajai.
When you play teams and you end up, you look at the A's record and how far they are out of the division race, I always put myself in like a general manager's seat and figure out how you're going to turn this team around. And usually in the Oakland's case, it was get some pitching in here because you had some bombers. Now it looks like it's almost backwards. You've got some young kids that got good arms. You don't really look at records now because the team has the record is so bad. But how do you go about it? You add veterans, you try to bring up some young kids that are going to help you immediately, or do you think you're close enough to going out and buying a couple good players to be able to compete in the West?
Well, this is 3 years in a row of what Billy Beane and the A's and teams like you're describing, Paul. You trade a Matt Holliday, you get a Brett Wallace, who's a #1 draft pick out of Arizona State. He's a third baseman now. They think that maybe he'll be a first baseman, to your point. They're getting some offense. If they can maybe get Orlando Cabrera and trade him to a team that is in need of a shortstop down the stretch and get a position player, whatever your need is, that's what happens with teams, especially the A's and historical teams that just don't have the revenue to be able to go out and get the big free agents all the time.
So Chavez, is he going to be back? Chavez. Is he going to be back, or is he done? So.
He's done this year. Season-ending surgery.
Well, Cano works the walk. He's been on base 3 times.
Tonight after the postgame, Darryl Strawberry sits down with Michael Kay for a revealing center stage. Strawberry talks about his turbulent years in New York, including his struggles with addiction and how he's giving back to the community today. It's a candid center stage with Darryl Strawberry tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
You were in that clubhouse, Paul. He had such a different reputation with the Mets as a rabble-rouser in that clubhouse, and he didn't cause any problems with the Yankees.
As soon as he was traded over, you hear about that, and that's the first thing that goes through your mind. And it didn't take but 5 minutes to realize that this guy here just likes to win. And he became a part of a team that was already doing good things here. And a lot of people looked up to Straw and what he knew about winning and what he knew about baseball. And a lot of people had a lot of respect when it was all said and done for what he did as a Yankee.
He had a good influence on Jeter as well. In the center stage, he recalls a story. He was sitting next to Jeter, in '95 when they called up Jeter for a couple of weeks, and he said, "You know what? You're almost as good looking as me, so there's going to be a lot of stuff out there for you." He said, "Don't make the same mistakes I did." And Derek has not made those mistakes, to his credit.
Tell you what, was there a more impressive guy to watch take batting practice than Straw? A lot of people hit home runs, but Straw used to hit those towering drives. It just went on and on and on.
I still think about the home run at St. Louis, old Busch Stadium, when he hit it off that scoreboard, right center field.
Yeah.
Used to be the old electric scoreboard.
Well, he hit the roof in the
Olympic Stadium.
Olympic Stadium. They had to draw a new line up there. They didn't think it was in play till Straw hit one up there. Straw was at that golf event out in Tahoe. He's a golfer now.
He's trying, he said.
Yeah. He's. I saw him on the range. It's not far away.
How'd you do in that golf tournament, O'Neill?
I wasn't real good. If you
triple digits?
If you do math well, my putts were way off the charts. It just wasn't good. It was fun to be there. You know, it's funny because I'm almost thinking as hard as this golf is now, you pick it up late in life, is as hard as baseball, but then all of a sudden you get a reminder from like the British Open. Can a 50-year-old guy, I mean, what a great story it was to watch it, but can a 50-year-old guy ever come and compete at this level in baseball or basketball or some of the other sports? Probably not. But, you know, Tom Watson almost wins a tournament with Tiger and all the big boys out there. So, you know, how do you rate this, Michael? Is golf as hard as other sports?
You know, again, it starts the age-old argument. Well, what kind of sport is it? I mean, you're really competing against yourself. And when a 59-year-old can compete for a major championship, it starts a lot of questions. I told the story the other day. Ian O'Connor, the writer for the Record, asked Reggie when it looked like Watson was going to win, what's more impressive and more difficult, hit 3 straight home runs on 3 straight pitches against 3 different pitchers in the World Series, or what Tom Watson's doing? Reggie goes, I think what Tom Watson's doing is tougher.
It was an amazing story.
With a bad ending.
Yeah.
15-footer.
And he walks Swisher. Well, these two teams go at it again tomorrow, a Saturday matinee right here in the Bronx. Our coverage will start at noon with the BP show, presented by Audi. Then the pregame show, and then the A's and the Yankees go at it Game 3 of this 4-game set. Again, it all starts tomorrow at noon, only on Yes.
You know what? This is what I really like the way the Yankees are playing right now. Is early in the year I noticed that they didn't. Oh, you got a 3-run lead. You got Mariano up in the pen. All right, let's get to the 9th and get this over with and get him again tomorrow. But they're battling every inning. I mean, you're a gapper now from putting this game out of reach. And they continue to tack on runs. They continue to put a pitching staff in trouble. You see Bob Guerin going out there again to figure something out.
He's going to call on Santiago Casilla. He takes the ball from Breslow. And it'll be Casilla against Cabrera. The Yankees, as Paul mentioned, can break it open. They lead 5-1, first and second, 1 out.
plays of the game. How about Melky Cabrera in the 9-hole spot here? As Batty has a double down the line, and this little chopper ends up being a base hit, not having somebody score their cover first. Another single. Started the night out at 277. He's 285 right now. 3 for 3, 1-run score.
Well, he's going for his 4th hit. And he'll do it against Santiago Casilla. 32 games, 34 innings, 38 hits, 24 strikeouts, 18 walks, 6.09 ERA. 7-man bullpen for the A's, 6 right-handers. At this time last night, the game was just about to start.
Bring back good memories.
Yeah, I remember. 2 hours and 50 minutes, Brandon? 2:43?
2:46, I think.
Split hash.
Right back to Casilla. And he throws the ball into center field. Cano will score. Moving to third is Swisher. And he's in there. Ahead of the tag by Kennedy. Kennedy argues with the third base umpire, Charlie Relaford. And here comes Bob Garrett as the Yankees lead 6-1.
Well, obviously the ball beat him. He must have missed the tag, but you know, when you get a frustrating play like this as a manager, you expect an out, sure out. You see a no shot there. But again, the ball beats him here. We'll see if he got the tag down. Looks like he got him in the face. I don't know if he got him on the arm.
Just yanks it there. You're exactly right, Paul. You get a comebacker. You think a double play, but you're absolutely making sure that you get one at second base. This would be a good angle here. Oh, man.
I think they got him.
Read Charlie Relaford's lips. You tagged him up, but you know, a lot of times the ball beats you. In the old days, you know, they were ringing you.
Wasn't that an incident earlier with Derek Jeter?
With Derek Jeter, where Derek alleges that the umpire said, well, the throw hasn't beat you, doesn't have to tag you. And Derek told the media later, I didn't realize I had a rule change. And Jeter fouls it off. Now first and third, the E1 on Casilla. 0-2. Yankees are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Jeter had the only hit. Let's take another look. Well, looks like he might have gotten him on that right hand on the way by, and then put a stronger tag on the left hand. But hey, Relaford's right there. It's hard to say for certain. The 0-2. Now, was there a lot of eating last night in the 2-hour and 46-minute window?
They kept the food room open.
And did you partake in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Not as much as Paul.
I think Lon Truss sent you some food last night. Didn't I hear on the air?
Yes, he did. That was nice.
I was worried about you guys.
Yeah. It was nice.
Lon, it sounds like Paul would like a delivery tomorrow.
Day game, little barbecue. Come on.
What kind of food was brought up here, huh?
He brought cookies and brownies.
Nice.
Oh, midnight snack.
No milk. Just cookies and brownies.
We had a game this year where Paul brought a carton of milk in.
Bring the whole jug in. If you can drink some milk, you might as well bring the jug.
The 1-2. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Swisher scores. Melky stops at second, an RBI single for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 7-1.
You're seeing it. The Yankees just keep marching on. You know, people have pride in their at-bats. Derek Jeter's not going to give it a bat away, no matter what the score is. Drives it up the middle. A's have given him a couple extra outs this inning. You're going to give up some runs when you do that with the Yankees when you're playing this well.
Here's Johnny Damon. And another base hit. Cabrera rounds third. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Damon. Jeter moves to second, and the Yankees lead 8-1.
Well, Paul said it. Quality Major League hitters, they will not allow a team to make mistakes and not capitalize, and that's exactly what the Yankees are doing right here.
Kurt Young wants to talk with Casilla. And we want to remind you that after the final out of this game against the A's, do not miss the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones will have the highlights and analysis from this game and also around baseball, plus the quotes from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. The Yankees up 8-1, and here is the 8th batter to come to the plate in the 8th inning. Mark Teixeira still just one out, first and second. And the count 1-0.
Two changeups in a row. Santiago Casilla, good fastballs, a command issue for him. Still having to grind it out. These Yankee hitters are smelling RBIs.
Michael, let's give a mid-season award out. You know, we just got over the All-Star break. If you're going to give an MVP for the Yankees mid-season, would this be your guy, Teixeira?
I think it would have to be, and I think that part of the award has to go to Alex Rodriguez because he turned into this player when Alex came back. And I think Jeter's had a great first half as well. 2-2. Foul away. And you know who else has had an unbelievable half? And I think you guys would both agree. Mariano Rivera's pitched as well as the other players.
I was going to throw Mo in there. He's
24 in a row, isn't it?
Yep.
Who is your protection and what it means to you as a player or the whole lineup?
Well, when Bernie got into his heyday, it was perfect for me because he being a switch hitter. And, you know, it just, when they brought a tough left-hander in, I knew if I could somehow get a walk, get a hit, anything, that Bernie was going to hurt him. And that's the way it happened because he became a better right-handed hitter than he did left-handed. So Bernie, looking back, was a great guy to hit in front of.
Speaking of home runs and hitting right-handed, Posada's home run to start off this inning was his first right-handed home run here at the stadium since the first home run ever hit at the stadium. So he's hit a lot from the left side as Mark Teixeira walks, loading the bases for Alex Rodriguez. And here's the protection we're talking about. Protection means that you make a pitcher pay for walking the guy in front of you.
You know, when you see a game get out of hand like it has in the past couple innings, when you get to somebody's bullpen, it also kind of shows you what kind of stuff Anderson had to keep this game intact. I mean, you're playing a hot team, and there's nothing worse than playing a really good team that is really hot like the Yankees are right now as a pitcher. I mean, and Anderson got a couple cheap hits, infield hits, you know, a couple misplayed balls, but he had him in this game at 4-1.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. He's 1 for 4. So the Yankees have batted around. His numbers with the bases loaded in his career are off the charts. 344 with 17 grand slams. Breaking balls upstairs, and our colleague Kenny Singleton always says, the guys that have the good numbers, better than career numbers with the bases loaded, are the guys that realize that the pitcher's in trouble, not them.
Well, I mean, I remember Damien Tartable was that way. Alex Rodriguez is that way. There's no way around it. You can take out of your mind that they're going to pitch around you, and you can just go to hitting.
1-0. Grounded to third. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. Turned nicely. Started by Kennedy, and a good turn by Ellis right to Barton to double up Alex Rodriguez. But the Yankees score 4 runs in the 8th. They strand 2. They lead 8-1 going to the 9th. You, the fans, and the three of us here in the booth. Al?
It is Jabba Chamberlain. This couple in a row now. His first start after the All-Star break, showing some plus velocity today. He was on. Slider, good fastball, got the excitement and motion. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Good start for Jabba Chamberlain, Chevy player of the game.
Now let's take a look at that last double play. I know the umpires want to get out of here as well, but Alex Rodriguez is clearly safe before that ball settles into the glove of Derek Barton. That was not a double play. Not a good call at all by Sam Holbrook at first base.
No complaint. That was an RBI. Would have been.
You're right.
You see McKellar there. He was given the safe sign, and it's hard to go out and argue when it's 8-1. But again, as a hitter, you want the right call made.
Brett Gardner has come into play center. Melky Cabrera to right. And right fielder Swisher to first. But first, Cody Ransom is at third. A little Tampa here in the Bronx. As David Robertson gets his first second half action. And he deals with Scott Harrison. There's Nick at first. Grounded up the middle. Will it sneak through? Yes, it does. A base hit for Harrison, who didn't have any idea that that was through into the outfield because he ran through first base as if he was trying to beat out a ground ball.
The angle here, he's just hustling, as you say, Michael. Todd Stevenson, the first base coach, generally would point to him saying that went through the infield. He was so concerned about making sure he beat out that single.
Those are David Robertson's numbers. One thing about Jabba that we should mention, if the Yankees hold on, he's going to be 6-2. This is his 31st career start. Now, in those starts, if he wins tonight, he'll be 9-3. So 12 decisions and 31 starts. But the Yankees as a team in those 31 starts are 21-10, which is not bad. Over the past 15 years, the Yankees have gone 20-10 or better over the first 30 regular season starts of only one other pitcher, and that's El Duque. The Yankees were 20-10 in El Duque's first 30 games, and he was 16-8. Now, you could say, well, hard luck, but I don't think hard luck really plays that much. Jabba just didn't go very deep in the game, so he didn't get a lot of decisions.
Well, when you're on the pitch count, as you say, Michael, there's some games here. He had 100 pitches, 4 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs, no decision. They win the game. 6 innings, which is good. 6 innings, 3 runs. He's had a lot of 4 innings, 3 runs, giving the offense a chance to win the game. He's not getting blown out. He's just not going deep enough.
Yeah, you kind of touched on early, even in the pregame, that you're going to have to conserve pitches early in the game. I mean, there were times where it looked like Jabba was trying to get 3 strikeouts in the first inning, and he 20, 30 pitches, and you just can't recover pitch count wise when you throw 40 or 50 pitches in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, there are some pitchers that either you have a pitch that's just nasty enough for a guy to foul it off and not put it in play. You have plus velocity where guys want to kind of wait you out.
And there's plus velocity as he pours a fastball right down the middle. Puss strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. He's 0 for 4.
And all on fastballs, Michael. Earlier, Jabba showed him enough sliders. And this is just guess hitting. You have 2 strikes. Help me out here, Paul. You have 2 strikes in 3 of your bats, and you take fastballs pretty much down the middle.
Yeah,
you have to be looking for something else.
So that's when you get back in it. You know what it is? You get back in the box before you really clear your thoughts, and all of a sudden the pitch is on its way, and you've got curveball, slider, changeup, fastball in your mind, and you just freeze on all of them, and you don't allow yourself as a hitter just to track the ball and hit it.
Once you count, you're sitting curveball.
Well, you've got to look fastball. There's no doubt about it. You got to tell your mind that you'll recover. I mean, you'll adjust to the breaking ball, but every once in a while you get caught in the middle. Go back to Jabba. My favorite part of the game, the 3rd, 4th inning when he had 2 men on, and he reared back and he got 2 strikeouts. He showed that emotion. I mean, that's what people come to see in Jabba Chamberlain. It brings back a lot of memories of when he got big outs out of the bullpen, where he believes in the stuff. He went after people.
Well, that was in the 5th inning, and it's interesting, Paul. When he went home for the All-Star break, he said it was a great respite for him, and he started to think, you know what, you're not having as much fun as you used to. I think that he became concerned that other teams didn't like the fact that he was pumping his fist and screaming. And he cut back on that. He wasn't the same guy he was as a reliever. And I think he finally said to himself, you know what? That's me. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part in the game. And right now it's 8-1. You don't remember that. But, that game is on the line there. And he bowled his neck. He got 2 big strikeouts.
Line drive, right center field. That is going to get past Melky and go to the wall right underneath the scoreboard. As Hairston will round 3rd, he'll score. It's an RBI double for Kurt Suzuki. Ball gets away in the infield, allowing Suzuki to go to 3rd. And the Yankee lead is now 8-2. And it's an E9 for Melky, allowing the runner to go to 3rd. So a double and a ribby for Suzuki. There's Ryan Sweeney as the A's trying to mount a big comeback here in the 9th inning.
About the emotion, Paul. You're right, Michael. And Jabba said he went back to Nebraska and have fun. If that's part of his element of having fun, then let it flow. I mean, if it's not contrived for guys to have some kind of act or routine after something, then I think other teams take offense to that. But if it's just an instantaneous burst of excitement or energy, you can't stop that. I remember I played with Tom Glavine a couple years with the Mets, and he said, "Don't never let him see you sweat." I said, "Well, we're not playing checkers." There's emotion here, and sometimes it's released. You're not trying to show anybody up.
We're sweating bullets up here, aren't we, Mike?
Yes, we are. Tonight we are. And there's a second out as Suzuki stays put. at third, so the Yankees are 1 out away.
But that was Glad's deal. You know, a little two-seamer changeup. You know, he wasn't all, you know, energized trying to, you know, throw it 95.
Really good story in Sports Illustrated is we Carl Crawford of the Rays said, you know, he was a great high school football player. You know, they gave him scholarships to play college quarterback in Nebraska. They said that was the hardest thing becoming a baseball player. You can't show any emotion. You got to be too cool for school. He said, football, you're screaming, you're yelling, all that emotion comes out. In baseball, that's not allowed. He said that was a big transition for him. Here's Derek Barton, runner at third, 2 outs. And there's a strike. And there will be people that will be rubbed the wrong way by Java, but if he thinks that makes him a better pitcher, then he can't worry about that. He's just got to deal with the Aubrey Huff occasionally pumping his fist when he hits a home run. Hey, you got me. The 0-1. But it's amazing how that became a cause for such discussion around baseball, because Java would pump his fist in the 5th inning or the 6th inning. It wasn't a big enough out for him to pump the fist. But if that's what he feels comfortable doing, then that's what he should do and deal with the consequences. The 1-1. There's a strike, count 1-2. Remember, David Robertson has not pitched for over 12 days. 13 days, so this is all about rust. That's the first thing that you have to deal with is location. So the Yankees can't really look at results here. They have to get him some pitches. The 1-2. That one goes past Posada. Here comes Suzuki. He'll score, and it's 8-3 Yankees.
Again, Michael, you think, you know, why not just go after him with a fastball, 8-1 game? But, you know, again, you talk about hadn't pitched in a while, hadn't probably thrown a breaking ball in a while. Let's see if I can throw one well.
Well, Posada set up a way there. That's unusual. Curveball, you would anticipate the ball breaking into the lefty.
High fly ball, deep left center. This should do it. Gardner's there, and the Yankees have won their 8th in a row. In the 9th inning for the A's, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and nobody left. Yankees have won every single game since the All-Star game. And they just keep putting W's up. And now the Yankees are 20